Alright, cool. I'm actualchatterteeth. I was here.
Annette and Proto Man, Kid, changed places, so that's cool. The Y button's joining us now, as I guess. We don't have a Y button on the Wii, but this is Creature from the Krusty Krab. I'll explain stuff during this first level since it's just driving for a couple minutes. Time is going to start after the so on the go, from the 3, 2, 1, go. All ready? So, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
Alright, so this is Creature from the Krusty Krab. This was a game developed by Blitz Games using their proprietary Blitz Games engine and was released for the GameCube, PS2, and the Nintendo Wii in 2005. So the category we're doing is all Sleepy Seeds, and this category entails us collecting all of these Sleepy Seeds and doing all the endings in the final race labeled Hypnotic Highway. So first off, your question, what's a Sleepy Seed? Sleepy Seeds are these little fellows that are scattered around the levels. There's either Patrick Sleepy Seeds or Plankton Sleepy Seeds. And they exist. That's all I got. They exist.
Definitely there.
They're definitely there. There's 54 total, 27 each. And getting all the Sleepy Seeds of a specific character unlocks the use of them in the final race, Hypnotic Highway. So the reason we're using Wii for this, although GameCube is known to be faster for any percent, the reason we're using Wii for all Sleepy Seeds is that the trick that the Wii version cannot do is actually not a trick that you can do in this category due to where Sleepy Seeds are located. As well as at the end of all the characters' races, there are cutscenes that you cannot skip on the GameCube or PS2 versions that were made skippable for the Wii's release. It's also just a few different skips that were added. Well, not skips that were added. A mechanic that was added that opens up the doors for a couple different skips. And so with all that, we're done with our first driving level in a bit. So this track we're going to be seeing a lot during this first chapter, labeled Diesel Dreaming. Let's go save, why not? Alright, so now we need a nunchuck for this. So Diesel Dreaming is divided into 2 levels. We have driving levels, like we just showed. Did we just crash?
Oh no.
We just crashed.
Oh wow.
Are you serious? No way. All right, runs over, guys.
Should I restart?
So
I saved.
that was.
Oh, that's a hard lock.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Wow.
What?
Is that a new percentage for this category right there?
Crash percent? I just got the world record.
Yeah, we just got a world record at SpeedGaming Live, guys.
Would you like us to reset the timer and try again right there for you?
I mean, why not?
There we go.
There we are.
Please do.
This game is amazingly well programmed. You can tell.
Oh, the Blitz Games engine, it's superb. It's the same engine notorious for being in the Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius game. So that's how you know it's quality.
Wow. You know, it's pretty funny when you save there. I was thinking, oh, that's pretty unnecessary. It's not like anything's going to happen.
I was thinking the same thing. I didn't even collect a Sleepy Seed in that level, but...
Shouts to THQ.
So it's THQ, yeah.
They're not a thing anymore.
Well, we can load your save file and go back to, I think it was like 224, or you can restart right now if you prefer.
We should kick it off, right? Yeah, just restart.
So just restart? Alright, can do that.
We'll give you one.
Yeah, if that happens again, then we're just doing it from the save.
That's fair.
So I wasn't planning on saving at every level. We're saving at every level.
Save percent.
I wish there was an autosave feature.
Wouldn't that be nice? So guys, it's Creature from the Krusty Krab.
So I don't know if I caused that or if the Wii caused that, because I didn't think I grabbed my nunchuck aggressively, so we're going to put the nunchuck on the chair over here. So what's up? I'm actualchatterteeth. This Creature from the Krusty Krab. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, go. You know how it is.
First try every time.
Yeah.
So you may be thinking to yourself, what is a Sleepy Seed?
I'll be honest, you guys need to drive this because I'm completely speechless after what I just witnessed.
Would that be fair to say that's never happened before?
That'd be pretty fair.
That is very fair to say, yes. There are times where you can like force the game to hard lock. Like there's a repeatable crash you can do. There's easy ways to make it soft lock, but Speechless. I honestly do not know what to say.
That's wild.
Banette, Proto, anything to say, really. I have nothing right now.
We went through an entire run of this game right before doing movie, and game worked completely fine. And then 2 minutes into this, it's, you know.
The opposite rule of tech support. This, you know, you think everything's going fine, and that's when the game decides it's going to crash on you.
You know, maybe it really was loading.
You know what? That was a long and hard load. I'll tell you that much.
Just thinking about it.
It had a lot to think about there.
You process like SpongeBob and all the
The Wii,
sprites.
the Wii just got stage fright, that's all.
What
Oh,
does
yeah.
it mean to load? So at least I can explain. Now I'm back in my psych. We're good. This is going to be the same driving stage we see throughout all Diesel. Wow, that's lame. No, it's not. The stage changes upon every single lap that you drive, and although this first race has 2 laps, the rest of them will have 3. And the course just keeps on changing, except for a few things like this starting area.
Okay.
Yay!
We did it.
All right, man.
Woo!
It's the most
Hardest
difficult
trick
part of
in
the
game
run.
right there.
Made it. Thank goodness.
Feedback, Dale.
So that was just telling us controls. Move around with the analog stick on the nunchuck, and for the camera, we actually have to point at the screen and use the B button, which sounds awful. Not as awful as you'd think. So this first area, we just got Miss Puff dancing over there. And we dropped our license, and we're going to go get it, but sadly, we're not going to catch it. He's just going to run away, as licenses do.
Happens all the time.
Yeah. So SpongeBob woke up from his dream and is suddenly a racer. So there's clearly no explanation for that. I'll say this now just to ruin the entire game for you guys. These talking animations, when they talk, they just repeat. So stuff with this, it's fine. But you'll notice Mrs. Puff will actually like flap her arms on a consistent cycle, which is pretty awesome.
The speed demon inside of you, SpongeBob.
Stay shiny, little fella. I'm coming
He
to
seems
get
so
ya.
sad.
Now that
Oh
you're
yeah,
happy,
he's
come over here. and
his
I'll
model's in a
teach you one
constant
thing.
state of smiling. You can't.
He's SpongeBob.
He's SpongeBob. That's true.
He's also devastated.
Yeah, so this is going to introduce us about snoozies, but we don't want to know what snoozies are because we don't really care about them in this run. They're the little coins. So we're just going to jump around that cutscene and watch our license fly away into the distance. So it's just teaching us, hey, you can jump,
You'll need to
which in a
jump over
platformer
that
is
gap to get
revolutionary as of 2005.
As of.
So this is a little skip we're going to try to go for. I'm holding the Z button to activate the winch right when we enter the load zone, which we got. So this is called winch skip. A cutscene is supposed to be happening where we're stuck in it. We're not stuck in it right now. Nice. And so we're winching while the cutscene's happening, which we have to do with motion controls. So the text box that showed up that actually gained us movement during the license jumping cutscene is actually the text box that's supposed to show up after we're done dancing. So that's especially harder to do just because winches are spun with a lot less precision due to motion controls. So this was a Wii launch title, so motion controls are going to be put in everywhere. Anything else I can think of in this room? Not really. Oh, Sleepy Seed we grabbed there. Just the spaghetti arms is an attack we have, but it also grabs things like snoozies and Sleepy Seeds relatively easily. And the reason we went to the right and then back to the left to get the Sleepy Seeds is because that's just the fastest way to get that other cutscene to start working. So if these winches ever just stop working for me, I'm going to have to do exactly what SpongeBob does when spinning them, which is going to look a little funny, but really a good back workout, so it's a win-win. So next, I guess the game teaches us that you can get hurt. And we have to jump between tires now, which generally with the cycle we're on, we should be fine to avoid. It's a gold snoozy. I think it's worth 10 snoozies, but I genuinely don't know. The purpose of those is for every 100 you get and save onto your file, you can actually spend them at like a little mystery machine that spews out like concept art or a music track or a sound effect, or if you're lucky, like an actual outfit or a particle effect change for a certain chapter. So at the end of that tire level, what I did is upgrade the slam, which we do by jumping and whacking that Wii remote down. And so now Miss Puff is going to teach us the best moves that you can have for speedrun, which is a dash attack known as the sponge lunge. So on the GameCube version, the sponge lunge always has a startup animation. On the PS2 version, every other one actually cancels the startup animation. But due to how we do it in this version, which is by taking the nunchuck and forcing it down, we have no startup animation. But that's not the only way we do it, or else I genuinely would not run on this version because it's awful. The devs, since they got so annoyed with it, didn't write it anywhere in the manual. You can just press up on the D-pad to sponge lunge wherever you are.
My goodness, you're becoming one of my best.
This game awful? It seems perfectly programmed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you know what?
Considering this is the first time we were doing this run at this event.
That's true. That is true. This is the first instance of this run existing on a screen.
First time this timer started.
It's my first run.
It's my first run.
Yeah, so now we get our race against Patrick. Got our license back, and Patrick is thrilled, maybe? I don't know. In this area, everything is just like grotesque and over-exaggerated to really give off that dream aesthetic.
Almost like a Rob Zombie production.
Yeah, a little bit.
Definitely one thing. This game will have variations in gameplay that go from really, really great to I'd rather read a book. And
You know that's a bad sign.
one thing that definitely makes it change a little bit is the art style. All the levels have a different, unique art style. It really looks great.
The art direction probably is the best aspect of this game. It is beautiful at points.
Easily. It goes from making me wish I was reading a book to making me wish I was reading like a really well done picture book.
I like those ones. I have a lot of trouble reading.
I can't read. So yeah, there's another instance of the level just transforming around us. So it looks minor at first, but to be different parts where we go completely different routes. So other differences to note compared to Wii and GameCube, which we're using GameCube as a standard, but it's the same between PS2 as well. The PS2 and GameCube are generally the same version, minus loads and whatnot. So the Wii version loads slightly faster than GameCube. And other slight differences are the fact that SpongeBob drives slightly faster to compensate for you having to use motion controls, which we can use to our advantage because we're master drivers now that we have our license back. And so if I recall correctly, the driving speed, you save a second of driving on average for every 22 seconds driven. SpongeBob also walks slightly faster, which makes some tricks easy. When I say slightly, I mean it's not really noticeable until you try some tricks that are tight on GameCube, and it's like, wow, I can actually do this on Wii, and I'm confident in a run with it. So those exist. And the biggest change that I hinted at earlier is that in another SpongeBob game, Heavy Iron likes to make a lot of things solid. So like everything is solid, you stand on everything. But Blitz games learned from their mistake and actually made it so you can you slide off the enemies when you jump on them, which then they looked back at their game and was like, this is a mistake, and made it so you can stand on enemies in the Wii version, which isn't a thing you can do on the GameCube or PS2 versions, to allow us to get extra height for certain tricks that would not be possible without said height. You can just get ahead of Patrick here, which does nothing. You don't generally race the NPCs, you race the timer at the top right. Also, boxes and bombs. Boxes 100% of the time will not slow you down, they'll just shake your camera. Bombs is kind of like a 50-50 shot if it actually wants to slow you down or not. Sometimes it pushes you forward, which is awesome. But you're generally racing the clock. Every checkpoint gives you more time, and the NPCs actually just drop things to try and make you move slower, which doesn't really affect us.
Sorry about that.
I'm gonna be honest, I hold my breath every time we see this loading screen.
You're not the only one.
Smashing a competitor's car, Dale, is that against the rules?
Me not saving there was just the biggest butt clench ever.
World record strats.
Not saving. So our car just got destroyed by our own pet, which is a perfect analogy for pets, thinking about it. And now we have to go look for more car parts in
Let's see if
grease
I
monkey
can't find
business.
some parts lying around to fix up my car.
So
These guys aren't just gonna let me come and rummage
we're coming in
around,
here. We're
so
going
I
to
better
learn
brush up
our
on my
main attack
skills.
move, known as the sand slap. We're going to try to avoid learning it because it's a little slow to learn it. But, you know. So this also introduces us to saving within levels, which is pretty cool.
Wasn't me.
So those little save points right there also serve as checkpoints. Ah, didn't get it. So here SpongeBob does a little dance. And he learns the sand slap attack. So that's the little dance he did earlier whenever he learned stuff. This one's mega important. It has two properties we really like. A, we can save at places, which we're going to use like once just for safety. And two, it's jump cancelable. So how enemies work within at least this iteration of the Blitzgame engine. 3 enemies can go near you, and then any other enemies that want to aggro on you just kind of wait in the back and stare you down until you kill other enemies. So jump canceling means that we can start the attack and then jump to cancel the animation. So we can basically just do 2 sand slaps in a really fast duration. And this is useful so that we can just quickly get enemies killed, so we just line up more to kill. So each car part that we need to get is divided into 3 hallways. This first hallway has us just collect gas canisters. So it's just basic movement around the room. Also to put into perspective the dashing thing, where this cancels every dash animation. The dash animation is 0.6 seconds of your life every time you do it. And dashing's kind of fast a lot of the time. So now here is a really cool thing. So there's a car part up there. We want it, so we're just going to grab it. We don't feel like spinning, no winches.
I have absolutely no idea.
So the spaghetti arms just kind of ignore the fact that there's a ceiling there because they feel like it, and grab the part from under. So out here we learn there are armor enemies. So what we can do is sponge lunge into them, or we can ground slam on them. So we're going to try to dash under the door here, which is a thing you can do if you don't have the animation.
You can stun him with your dash attack.
I just got a really weird bonk that set me forward, but I'll take it. So the thing about those enemies is that now we need to make sure to not kill those when we get out, because there could be more armored enemies that spawn, and we want to kill the other ones that are spawned, so we didn't basically just waste our time. So for skipping the sand slap, this is the room that causes the most debate, because although there are really fast strats to do this room with the ground slam, the sand slap is just much faster. That's all the boxes. We got some enemies that aren't really feeling us right now, but it's okay. We're not feeling them. We just want our car part. So the camera doesn't like us. Now we can get out of the second tunnel. So I wouldn't be able to tell you why we just vandalized, but we did.
Just to do it.
Just because. SpongeBob is not a good influence. Oh, that was really good. We killed the enemies we wanted to. So now we're going to try to dash under this door. Nice. So sometimes the enemies actually aggro onto you, but thankfully those 2 enemies being there actually add just 2 more enemies that will not aggro to you when they all spawn. So it makes that much easier. So now we just have a gauntlet of enemies, which jump canceling is super useful for. So if it's a group of 4 enemies, generally what I like to do is use the spaghetti arms on one of them and then hit the 3. Because whenever a spaghetti arm hits an enemy, it just cancels the rest of the animation because it hit something. One thing that is annoying about the spaghetti arms is that it kind of just goes forward. It doesn't lock onto enemies. So if you're trying to attack enemies and there are snoozies that the game might want you to get, the game will 100% prioritize those snoozies. And then this one, our spaghetti arms realize there's a ceiling, so we can't really grab it. But that doesn't stop SpongeBob from climbing some windows and grabbing it himself.
I would like to say that Proto and I have chat pulled up on this phone right here, so if anyone has any questions about the run, we'd be willing to answer them.
That is true. I can answer.
Hey, Pebble.
Nice loading screen, by the way.
Oh, the loading screens are all unique, and they all look really good.
Who could ask for more than that?
But
And they
also
never
work.
crash.
Classic lineup for a race.
Never in a million years.
So do we tell him now or later that we're gonna crash intentionally? He thinks we're joking.
Oh shoot, we're not. You're right. Just dawned on me.
Yeah. If you liked the Kung Fu Panda 2 poster over the photo channel, we're going to see that a couple more times.
Maybe that's why the game crashed.
That is true. He is quite bodacious, I will admit.
Couldn't take the jack.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Here I go! Whoa, whoa! Speed, speed, speed! Whoa, go! Whoa, whoa! Must have
Good voice
Oh,
lines.
yeah. Who can forget? Every time SpongeBob either passes a checkpoint, feels like interacting with his environment or the NPC driver, or hits a boost pad, he says something. And it's beautiful. Like, if you want a cool drinking game, drink every time SpongeBob says something.
You'll die.
You will die.
It's still pretty cool.
Alright? In this one lap.
I'm fairly certain we can't endorse that game.
It's only for top level speedrunners.
Oh my god.
So there's a sleepy seed right here. We're just gonna yoink.
Oh.
Clunk.
Vibe check.
How much fun do you think Tom Kenny had voicing all of these?
Probably not a lot. I'm gonna.
It's like, what do you guys want me to do? What would you say if you were going fast?
Just scream.
Imagine someone having to paint the picture for him. Like, okay, you're driving in a mattress. You are against a giant plankton on a motorized unicycle. What would you say when you're passing him?
Fast, fast, fast.
I just imagine him looking at going, your paycheck, whatever.
That's my personal favorite.
He
right
also
there.
just said "oh whoa" in that go area, so pretty good one. Never getting that out of my mind.
And I can't unhear it, thanks. Appreciate it.
Mention it.
Oh my gosh.
That's about what I expected.
What is it for? What time is it?
About 4:08 a.m.
Yeah, I'm just gonna laugh at everything. My commentary is just gonna be SpongeBob saying something dumb, and I'm just gonna laugh.
You know what? We wouldn't ask for anything else.
All right, now Tom, hear me out. Car noises, but you're really into it.
I can't get into that. We're done with this driving level. Gary hits us and our car breaks again. Is what I wish we could say, because dang, Grease Monkey's a lot easier.
Please.
He
Thank you.
seems to be collecting
It's never
turbos.
choked like that before,
Could be
but now I'm
tricky,
just
especially
I
since
fear.
Choked.
Yeah, just choked the load completely.
Yeah, lost time on that load.
Tell me about it.
Heavy reset point.
All you need to do to beat
I mean,
Gary
at this
is
marathon
to
now,
soup
it's a
up your
50-50
engine with
reset
a few
point,
new
so yeah.
parts. I'm sure there are some places
It's
around
true.
here that you haven't explored.
This is the last platforming level of this chapter. And this is where we learn a really cool ability that you generally wouldn't see SpongeBob get. This game abuses a lot more that SpongeBob is a sponge than he is SpongeBob. So what we're going to do here is actually use our spaghetti arms
Okay, SpongeBob.
and grab the anchors
I know I'm
and
going
just
to
swing
regret
across
saying
them.
this, but you've also got the ability
I'll definitely
to
say I say that, and then
swing
also
through the air.
he has a dash attack by putting on a Viking helmet,
In the
so
right place, you'll be able to cross
I
gaps
honestly
that you never knew
don't know
you
what to tell you.
could.
Hinga dinga dirge.
So cool thing about these anchors is that if we're below them, the game still thinks we're trying to grab them, since you can go relatively low before grabbing them. So we just want to grab these guys. Oh, went a little wide there. Generally, thing to note, unless the camera pans back to you after a cutscene, the camera will just snap behind you,
And you can use speed boosts
which you
around
can
the track.
easily control when you slam, since when you slam, you can just change what direction SpongeBob feels like pointing. So similar to movie, this game's soundtrack is pretty good. It's a surprising thing with SpongeBob games where they just end up having good soundtracks because I don't know. They feel like it?
That's where all the budget went.
Yes. Oh, right there, I went to Spaghetti Arm him, but we actually feel like getting a snoozy, so SpongeBob picked up the 1 cent instead.
Yeah.
My goodness. You're
Spaghetti
becoming
Arms
one of
has
my
good
best
priorities.
pupils.
Very good priorities.
Money over safety.
Lesson for life right there.
We live in a society. Alright, so we're just going to swing to the top of this room. We're just going to do a small thing where we avoid actually like going really deep into this platform because it shows us a cutscene where it looks over to that motor. We also have to jump up to the second anchor to avoid going toward that platform since SpongeBob like falls back a little bit before getting an anchor. Oh, half of that wall is still there because we did that cutscene skip. Here's some crates. This is another really weird difference between the two versions. You can't move in this cutscene on this version, but GameCube and PS2 they can just run around freely. I don't really know why they did this.
We got a question in chat. What's the world record?
The world record for this category is a 3:01:46, if I recall correctly. That 46 could be a completely made up number, but I think that's it. So we're gonna save here real quick. I'm gonna do a trick that can soft walk. So we want to skip this room by jumping on an invisible ledge and then just jumping to the end. Okay. So yeah, we just have to reload to that save. So that's a trick called Nitro Puzzle Skip. And so that has a chance to just completely keep you in that tube. There's nothing around to kill you. There's no just hover spots, which generally if you are falling for a certain amount of time and you just no input helps you, the game just kills you as a failsafe.
To answer Sage Todd's question, sub 3 would be sick, but we've decided no.
Sub 3 is very possible for this category. It's just that there's a lot of points in the run with Sleepy Seeds that are very hard to do. And then also tricks like that, which aren't required for sub 3. But it's like, if you know a cool trick, you gotta do it, right? Isn't that just principle? Okay, let me rephrase that. If you know how to do a cool trick, you gotta do it. So yeah, this is the quote-unquote puzzle from what we call this Nitro Puzzle Skip. That was a really... Yeah, I don't know why those were so low. The last one was like high, is what I'm used to. Okay, weird. So now we're gonna go into this room where we're gonna try to go for another little cutscene skip called Sparkplug Cutscene Skip, or as the community very much likes to refer to it as Wisp of a Chutter Spoon Skip.
Why? Okay, size, good response.
Somebody found it, and
That's
they wanted to name it Wisp of a Chutter Spoon Skip. And when we said, why do you want to name it that? Like, what does that have to do with the trick? He was like, I don't know, lol. And Chutter Spoon is me. I'm Chutter Spoon. I don't know why Wisp is there. And by the way, I was never called Chutter Spoon any time before this trick name happened. So I couldn't tell you.
Thank you for enlightening us.
I wish I didn't have to.
My goodness, you're becoming one of my best pupils.
So that floor is still there because we didn't do that cutscene, which we're not gonna run into the cutscene when we run back, thankfully. So those spaghetti arms just help us get a little bit of extra height whenever we do jumps. So I just realized I did not explain at all what this level is. So our car didn't break when Gary went by. We just realized, wow, we are slow. So we actually are collecting
It's the biggest and
turbos,
most shiny thing I have ever
and these will let
seen.
us boost in the final race, which is right
Use
after this
the
level.
dash attack to push that spark block into its slot, and you'll find what it is you seek.
Yeah, so this is a room where we just have to push around a bunch of spark plugs. A thing to note is that when you run into something like that, you just bonk. But if you skim it on the side, depending on your angle, you'll either bonk or you will actually just like run past it and it will feel that it touched you. So it will get moved. That's generally what we want to do. It's not as big as a time loss if we don't get it, just because we have that no startup animation. But it's still something that we aim for. You can technically cancel the bonk animations by bam. Oh, didn't do it. By pressing the A button while you bonk, or like letting go of the dash while you bonk. Doing either of those at a specific time makes it so that you just don't have a bonk animation and you can just freely either jump or attack or slam or anything like that. A shame is that after a bonk, you can only do a single jump. So if you get a jump out of a bonk cancel, you don't have a double jump. And if you had a double jump, it would be just a super long jump that would be mad useful. See if I can get a bonk cancel here. Oh. There we go. So we're just gonna have this motor completely destroy a wall. Why the wall was built with like no doorway? Blitz game design. And we need to blow this wall up to get a sleepy seed. There he is. Little man, big plan.
Just call me SpongeBob, demolitions expert.
So a thing to note, although the category is called All Sleepy Seeds, and that is like the main highlight of the run, getting all the Sleepy Seeds unlocks the race for all the characters at the end. And although there are no Sleepy Seeds within the final Plankton race, since you get the rest of the Plankton ones in the Patrick race and the rest of the Patrick ones in the SpongeBob race, we still do perform that race, since the parameters of the category basically collect all the Sleepy Seeds and get all the endings.
Really, it's the way to get the true ending of the game.
Yeah. Being able to see like everybody's winning perspective, but I don't want to spoil anything. So
Winning what?
Oh.
a trophy.
Tuned.
Please clap. Thanks, man. That's pretty great.
I want to go to sleep.
We all do.
Well, technically, you're in a dream.
Yeah, that's true.
Counts.
Can't argue with that.
Pretty fitting that we're playing the game about being in a dream at 4 a.m.
Oh, it's 4 already? Oh, man.
Oh, I don't have my. Oh, my phone's in my pocket. Yeah. Oh yeah, that life preserver is just my camera. I don't know how I didn't mention that earlier. I guess I just like remove it from my vision when I'm trying to play the game because I just see it and I know it's there and I'm conscious of it. But that's what that is.
Just means he's pointing at the screen.
I'm spinning the winch the complete opposite way I usually do. I don't know why I did that, but so we need to move that down so we can put that truck. Killing all those enemies just spawned these anchors. What are you guys laughing at? Oh, by the way, we don't need to hit this button. What's so funny?
You're funny. It's impossible to explain. Tedious knows.
What is it?
Don't worry about it.
I'm worried about it.
You should be.
Where's the
No,
camera?
it's not even funny.
I
It's
swear.
it's that 4 a.m. kind of funny.
What did he say?
It doesn't make any sense.
Can I at least read it?
You just quote. Bennett, laugh to die is Stupid reference to the old meme. Why are we here?
Oh, yeah. So not only is this run an estimate of 3 hours, but I'm gonna be doing a SpongeBob run after this. That's an estimate of 2 hours. So for the time being, we're the main characters of SpeedGaming too.
We are SpongeBob, Patrick, and Patrick 2.
True that.
So this is a room where, thankfully, since we're on Wii, we can stand on the enemies and actually jump up and spaghetti arm that part, which is, I guess, what some awful, awful speedrun-hating playtesters told to Blitz Games. And so they were like, okay, you can't jump on these guys. So you just kind of slide off as if you were playing GameCube, which I guess I can show here. Just, oh, so I didn't get hurt when I slid off the first time before I started blinking. That was just me sliding off.
Yeah, telling the chat we were reading them was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Really bad idea.
Chatter, do you like American cheese or Swiss?
I'm not usually a Swiss guy, but if it's like if there's barbecue sauce on it, I prefer Swiss.
You like American cheese? Like, it's really bad for you, but like I totally vibe with it. Swiss cheese is just kind of bitter. Like sometimes I'll eat mustard and I'll be like, yeah, dude, this is vibing, but like other times I'm like, nah, dude, this is trash.
It really depends on the American cheese as well.
That's true. It's not even like cheese though. It's like weird oils.
It's cheese in the sense that turkey bacon is bacon.
That's why I'm
I
wearing my
feel.
fireproof
Like it looks the same,
See?
it tastes
really
the
Similar.
same, where you
See
think
that?
it's cheese slash bacon. We call it bacon, we call it cheese, but it's just a little special.
It needs a little bit extra help.
So that's Gary. Yes, he's like 3 times the size of SpongeBob. Ooh, we got turbos now. Whenever we press the 1 button, not only will we boost forward, but SpongeBob will say a one-liner. So this is the best level in the game. I love this level. They capitalized the L in that sentence for no reason. The subtitles in this game rock sometimes.
Is it the baby? Doesn't shut up.
Just does not.
I appreciate that the game subtitles everything that he says. So you can,
Oh, everything.
everything.
It doesn't help me. I can't read.
Be quiet. We're going so fast that Gary just stops placing his mines and then just immediately is like, I need to place mines now. Yes, he just called his own pet Snail Daddy. Moving swiftly along. Just keeps going too.
It's so dumb.
The plot of what he is saying is absolutely essential. You need to get every detail of that.
Every little bit.
Well, yeah, what if you miss it?
Snail Buddy, he's been demoted from Daddy to Buddy.
Ah,
Friend zoned
Actually,
again.
if you decode his text, it's actually a secret code for the nuclear launch codes.
what?
So what are your guys' thoughts on speedruns?
Yeah, okay.
They're like really cool.
Yeah, they're fun.
Are they fast as lightning?
I like speed.
Okay. Me,
Yeah, me too.
personally, I'm more of a faster guy. I say faster.
I'm more faster. I'm more of a snail buddy.
I respect that. I respect that.
Good thing he said it. I wouldn't have been able to understand the words.
Yeah, I'm more of a Snail Daddy myself.
I'm more of a racer.
I'm more of a seabed.
I'm more of an all.
Oh well.
It's so bad.
This is purgatory, by the way.
Yeah.
It's been 4 a.m. for a long time now. I don't think that clock's gonna move anytime soon.
2.5 hours left, by the way.
And for a good time.
Sadly, this isn't what the next 2.5 hours are like.
Aw.
Man.
This actual game.
Yeah. Sweet.
I am in a really weird position with those cars that I've never been in. So that's cool.
Is it?
I was one of them.
Can't even finish.
So
the
we needed to wait a
sentence.
bit I probably should have saved just in case, but we needed to wait a bit to skip that cutscene just to make sure that SpongeBob actually didn't say a voice line while this was loading, which would, in turn, make the load an infinite load. So,
Oh no.
again, Blitz
Sounds
Games
familiar.
Engine.
Nothing looks the same as it used to.
Yeah,
A little bit of deja vu.
beautiful. So here's a really quick trick. So there's a crepe thing right here. Cool. So how this is it goes straight up and then to the side. What we can do is make the game, we can jiggle off this ledge and it'll put us in the ground. And once we're in the ground, the game's like, I don't know what to do. And as a failsafe, it's like, you know what would be really cool? If we just warped him somewhere random. So we don't know exactly where it warps you, but our theory is that it warps you to the origin of the map at the height that you fell from. So once I actually get it, you'll see what that, oh,
There we
so
are.
there's that. We're outing. So from here, we skip that phone booth, some combat, and just go right into the next phone booth. So he's blowing there. We have a Bluster Puff attack. What I tried doing, his mouth's open the whole cutscene, by the way. It's awesome. If you jump and use your Bluster Puff attack while entering a phone booth, you can actually skip that really slow cutscene that we had to watch, where he like moves his fat tush into the phone booth and picks up the phone. He is still in awe that he is using a phone.
He's also really fat.
Yeah. So there's some enemies that spawn, and Dread Patrick talks to us. We don't like talking to people, so we're just gonna jump over that. And here's where we slam that button. So we still don't like talking to people, so we actually need to get back on these words over here and make sure to jump over the trigger again.
Words, not a fan.
Yeah.
So we come up here, there's a button over here so we can rise those things, but then that activates a cutscene. We really don't like cutscenes. What we do like from the previous trick, though, is lampposts. These things are multi-purpose. Alright, so that's what the animation skip looks like. We basically just skipped a room, but detoured to get a sleepy seed. So this next room coming up, there are really cool tricks for, but we need to get a sleepy seed, so we get to only do one of those tricks. So believe it or not, somebody actually decided to model these little wooden posts slightly higher than the wooden ground, which gives us a little extra height to skip this phone booth. So phone booths activate cutscenes where they tell you how to play the game. Although this is my first run, I kind of know how to play the game a little bit. So we try to skip those as much as possible. Unless they bring us inbounds. If they bring us inbounds, then we like them a lot. Which, in a normal any percent run, there are 2 of those that like to bring us inbounds.
It's your first run of this casual Let's Play.
Yep.
It's his first run.
Yeah. Make sure to rate 5 stars, favorite video. Share it with your friends.
Leave a video response.
Yeah. If you like a never mind. I was about to say if you like a comment, but you know what?
Like every comment.
Like every comment, even the ones you don't like.
Tell us who your favorite speedrunner is in the chat.
Just make conversation.
Okay, guys, who's your favorite speedrunner?
My favorite speedrunner is https://www.twitch.tv/ I don't know.
I like Oblivion with HD.
I guess Swift Ike probably. Also, yeah, shouts to Swift Ike on Twitch. He got me into speedrunning back in 2016, and since then I've met amazing people and played children's games very fast.
Living the dream.
I mean, yeah, this is a dream.
Oh, literally.
Reality is just an illusion.
Of course.
That's pretty true.
So this room, we just want to blow down Dread Patrick's posters because we're kind of jealous of that chin. Like, his chin game is strong. Patrick with the weak chin.
Does Patrick even have a chin?
It's weak. It's so weak you didn't even notice it existed.
No, I wish I was the dreaded Patrick.
Dude, honestly, look at it. He's handsome. So we just use our Bluster Puff attack, blow all that stuff off, get a sleepy seed while we're here, and continue on. Let me see. Is an enemy in place to try to do skip? Maybe. I don't know. You can skip this room by slamming on an NPC. That's that Italian French guy walking over there.
I don't speak Italian, SpongeBob.
Is he in place?
And exciting.
We're just gonna see. He's a little far away. I'm not gonna go for that. Yeah, but you can do a thing called NPC boosting where you just slam on an NPC. And because Blitz games felt like it just gives you ridiculous height. And depending on the angle you slam him, he can actually just give you the height and distance to go right up to that platform with Jed Patrick. So this is the hardest fight in the game right here.
Fathead. Let's see how you handle these.
Alright, first try.
My minions, Starfish Man.
He's so taken away. It's like, I see you've defeated my minions. Like, did you expect me not to?
There's that ringing.
Another thing to note, which wasn't true for those enemies, but will be true for the enemies in the next level, the colors as well as the number on their shirts indicate their health. For them, only the number indicated it. So you know how this is the Wii version, and we have to incorporate motion controls everywhere, or else Miyamoto doesn't like us. Here's an actual good use of a pull tab. Motion controls. This is called a pull tab. Normally you have to mash B, and there's actually a set cap of how fast you can mash B. Or, I don't know, what is that on PlayStation? Square, probably. But in here, we just have to point at the screen, hold Z, and just drag. It's super fast.
So that's confirmed. That's the only good use of motion controls in the entire history of the Wii.
Ah!
I like bowling.
That's really good.
Pretty good.
What other? Yeah, and bowling. I actually can't think of anything else right now off the top of my head. I like the
Boxing is
camera in this
alright.
game, but would I prefer C-stick? Yeah.
Well, what about... Oh, never mind.
What Wii games are there? Mario Party, you could roll the dice by shaking it. That's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know.
Wii
Chat's-
boxing was pretty good.
Chat suggesting Skyward Sword.
Oh yeah, Skyward Sword. Actually, that's I don't know why I didn't think of that. Yeah.
They didn't actually suggest what in Skyward Sword, just the game itself.
Oh well,
Got
I
the
really like how
sword.
the swordplay controls. Granted, I never had a Wiimote that had the Motion Plus built in. I always had like that external adapter, because I got them when I got Wii Sports Resort. So, yeah. Still super fun though. I love Skyward Sword.
I like a Twilight Princess where you just waggle around the Wii remote. and just spin.
I played TP on the GameCube, and then I think and then I also played TP HD, which I think was based on the GameCube version. So, I haven't played the Wii version of TP.
It's alright.
What other motion controls?
Can our caped hero save the day? How can Starfish Man hope to defeat his
I don't know. I have to think about it.
evils? Why am I asking
When
so many
Atlantis for
questions?
Panis, when your tank gets 2 damage, you shake it to regain health, and I thought that was very clever.
Yeah, I like the tank add-on they added where you can shake it and then it regains health in game.
Yeah, it's pretty clever.
So what's going on in the story? Because I thought this game was about SpongeBob building a car.
I don't know. This is my first run. So, I genuinely don't know, but here's my interpretation. Patrick was sitting down watching TV, dreaded Patrick bad, and Patrick was like, I'm a superhero now. So, dreaded Patrick's doing some evil stuff. Like, he did the dastardly thing of stealing this guy's clothes, but he's also trying to run him over with a train, which is a little, like a 2 on the evil chart right now. The clothes is like a 7.5, but this is like a 2.
That was a golden opportunity for motion controls.
That's true. If I could just drag the train back like I can the pull tabs, that would have been
The
awesome.
third good use of motion controls.
I swear there's at least another good use of it. I just can't think of any off the top of my head. I thought spinning in Mario Galaxy was fine.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Because it was basically just binding a button to spinning.
But the train stopped.
So I like that.
Some of the Call of Duties were pretty fun with the motion.
Call of Duty was on the Wii.
Yeah.
Cool.
Debatably.
It was no. How do you debate Call of Duty being on the Wii?
No more.
Because the Wii doesn't exist.
Okay.
It's all just a dream.
It is.
Yeah. Like, yes, it is. This is a dream. Oh, this is also Patrick's dream, by the way. He's actually not a superhero in a comic book world.
Time for window shopping.
Yeah, the actual plot of the game is you're just within SpongeBob, Patrick, and Plankton's dreams.
Yeah.
And just kind of going through their dreams.
I think we're going to have to cut out the stream when we get to the Plankton's dream about just making out with the Krabby Patty, because it's not safe for stream. So we're slamming on boxes. This is called a box jump. You see how that gives us height? What if I told you it gives you a lot of height sometimes when it likes you?
I wouldn't believe you.
Okay, I wouldn't believe me either with how this is going. Yeah, I really wouldn't believe me, actually. So we want to get up there. What's up there? That's actually where we come from a different room. So how this works is this is the first room in this level. Wow. And then the second room in this level,
Another triumphant victory for Starfish Man.
wait, what do I even do? Wait,
How was it looking?
On the fly strat.
I can't do the backup here. This is going to be a little awkward.
I'll get you back.
Okay.
No fear.
We're going to have to do an extra room completely.
I'm mad now. No button can resist a good
Oh, no, we don't. No, we don't. This is fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Maybe.
Nothing went wrong.
Actually, is this doing nothing to help me?
It's turning. Go, little windmill.
That did absolutely nothing to help me, now looking at the state of things. Need to hit down these statues. There was a save point in this room. I wonder if I could have just used that. That's fine.
I'm mad now.
So this fell, so we can use this. Get up here. Pretty sure you can't get on top of this on Wii. Okay, well, we wanted to go up there, but that's not happening. Huh? Did I save in the previous level?
This is his first run.
My first run.
Let's hope.
Yeah, we're gonna have to check, but I'll save there just in case it resets anything. So I accidentally, the way you kill those boxes is by slamming on the little pads, but I did not want, that's not how you load a game. I didn't want to slam on the pad, but I did do it accidentally. Oh, pardon me.
If it's any consolation, it doesn't look like chat knows what to do at that point either.
Does it ever?
That's fair.
Starfish Man, can our Cape Hero save the day? How can Starfish Man hope to defeat
Vinette,
his
is
evil
anyone,
schemes?
do you guys have chat open?
Why am I
Yeah.
asking
Is
so
anyone
many
in chat that
questions?
actually like runs the game, like knows what I could do?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sam's there.
So Sam, was there like anything I could have actually done there genuinely? Because the spatula was like giving me momentum away, so I couldn't go around the left side.
Oh no, that poor
Thankfully, I
man.
saved, so I just have to
Train tracks
restart the
and
level, which is kind of awful, but
must stop the train.
it's better than
and get him
losing a
dressed.
complete run.
Yeah, they don't know what to do. They
Yeah.
said their best suggestion was to reset.
Shout outs to Tedious.
Yeah, sounds about right. So this is the second level of Starfish Man.
It's level 5.
This is, yeah, this is level 5. That's-
Burns area.
We've never seen this before.
I swear this isn't me being tired. I'm prime and ready right now. Hey, Benet, quick question.
Yo.
In France, is the Nintendo Wii the Nintendo Yes?
That was pretty funny.
Well,
Why was that directed towards me?
You used to take French.
still
I told you I failed.
but the train stopped. I know, but
Dang.
can't you see I'm naked? I'm not going anywhere without my clothes.
I'm not going anywhere without my
Since
clothes.
I started Starfish Man shall find your clothes, and you will be embarrassed no more.
I love Patrick. He's so funny.
I am so glad I made a safety save because I genuinely think I was soft locked in that room. Note to self, if I ever have to do another no reset run, save at the statue over here.
No time for window shopping. There are clothes to find.
I only just realized he's a starfish.
Nah.
Who, Dreaded Patrick?
Yeah.
Ah, fair.
I've never watched this show before, so I have no clue.
Ah, it's about a sponge and a starfish.
A squirrel
Yeah, a squirrel with an air helmet on.
and a Squidward.
And a Squidward.
And a Squidward.
Yeah.
A Mr. Krab.
I don't claim to be the best at this trick. Also, yeah, Sam, the backup doesn't work on Wii, which well, not the backup, the consistent stop skip doesn't work on Wii. So that's what it's supposed to look like. So what this does is let's do two things. One of which we can just get the alpha piece, and second of which we can go over to that little area. So how the level structure of this game is set is that you go into this first room and get an alpha piece, then go out, go into the second room and get an alpha piece, and actually come back to the main room through this second room. So what that just did is made it so the game thinks we're coming from the crane room, which would be the next room we normally play. When in fact we are coming from the sock room.
I should look out for more of these. Poor me. How is the starfish?
Yeah, that enemy usually dies to the box, but I guess he didn't want it this time. Enemies can hurt each other in a weird way. The boxes are kind of not treated as enemies, but more as just places where you can get hurt. It's more of like the button destroys it more. It's more like the button destroys it more than the button sets its health to 0. So sadly, from doing what we just did, the gate's closed. But conveniently, we have a warp right here. So why this warp works is because when you walk into either side of the train station, like this black area, the game is like, wow, you just ran around the whole train tracks and now you're back here. So it just warps you to the other side. So that warp actually just put us in that black area over there and then loaded us to the other side, which is a way to get out. We had to run over here because this is the exit from the sock room. So that just skipped the crane room, which thankfully doesn't have a sleeping seat.
This neighborhood needs to be cleaned up. These villains
Is there any warp like that that happens in the game intentionally, where it just kind of fades to black, puts you somewhere?
Well, it is that train warp, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what we did is we warped into that trigger for the train warp.
Why are there pictures?
So then it spawned us where that train warp is programmed to put you.
Ah, okay, I got you.
Yep.
That door shut behind me. So you found
So this is Dreaded Patrick, the evil guy, trying to give people jobs, as evil people do.
like to meet my new recruits.
This is kind of like his, not a lair, but
It's
you know,
fair.
yeah, it's his fair.
This is employment fair.
So in this room, we want to kill. Oh yeah, you just saw that enemy died to that box that I haven't even woken up. So in this area, we want to hit all the buttons and kill all the enemies, which makes platforms drop for us and makes crates drop for us so we can jump on them. However, we're on Wii. And, you know, hashtag Wii privilege. We get to jump on enemies. So we bring these little guys over here if they actually want to aggro on me. And we're able to just jump onto this box and avoid hitting 2 buttons and fighting that group as well as another group of enemies.
Nice and smooth.
So the skip that makes GameCube fast for any percent in this level is actually getting a box jump on that box to the left over there that I couldn't get in camera. But for some reason, that box just behaves more like an NPC than an enemy. Or it behaves more like an NPC than how a box did in, for say, the sock room. So we just can't get that type of boost off of it, which is a shame.
Whoa, yeah! Go, Starfish Man! That's smart.
That's fine. It just adds 1 extra room, which we need to do anyway for Sleepy Seeds. But it means we have to do this in any percent as well. So this next room is the train room, with the train tracks that are just completely isolated from any useful train tracks. You know, a normal thing that you'd have near an employment fair.
All the time.
So instead of pushing trains and hitting buttons, we're just going to jump on top of the save point, which the developers thankfully put here, and jump up here. So it's going to let us do 3 things, one of which is pull this tab. Generally, you would want to push these trains twice to do the room, but then a minimum of 3 times to do the room and get the sleepy seed. But since we didn't have to push the trains, we can actually just get that sleepy seed. And there's another one a long way back.
It's another one of those sleepy seed thingies.
So now I can just go up here.
Go me!
Oh. Yeah, you gotta push these fellas. The reason why we want to push them once that cutscene is over is or after we get the outfit piece is because it despawns the enemies in the room, so we don't have the chance to like run into an enemy or an enemy to attack us while we're trying to just casually dash into trains. So this, which seems is like a running theme of the level. Which now thinking about it, movie also had levels that loop back in themselves, so it's cool. This is why that box jump from earlier that we can't do on Wii saves time. The last outfit piece, since they don't actually track how many outfit pieces, it just tracks that to do certain cues like opening doors and spawning enemies. The last outfit piece is actually just under this statue. So you can normally just box jump up here and then hit the statue down on GameCube and PS2. But now that gate's closed because of the weirdness of what we've done. So we're actually going to have to do a really hard trick to get past that gate. It's called picking up the outfit piece.
I would highly recommend someone donate $20 for Danny DeVito.
Oh, is that the names for that?
Yeah.
Think like this, if everyone in chat just donates 25 cents, oh, Danny DeVito's in the bag. Maybe.
To be honest.
I actually don't know if that's true or not.
Gotta get that DeVito insurance.
So if everyone in chat donates $1,000,
Oh, Danny
we can
DeVito's
fund
happening.
Speed Game for a while.
Patrick's goons. We need you to clean up the town, and quickly. Sorry, urgent mayoring to be done. I'll see you when you've cleaned up the town.
So there's a really cool part later where the mayor will... Oh wait, actually I just missed it. He just slides in. He'll do that again later. The mayor prefers to cha-cha slide over just standard walking. So how do you clean up a town of villains? Laundry detergent. Like, duh.
Stupid.
So thankfully the enemies have laundry detergent on them, which is really useful for us because we need laundry detergent to get rid of them. So we just have to kill the enemies so that we can get rid of the enemies. You heard me right.
Since you mentioned donations, I will just remind everyone that all donations during the Speed Gaming Live Marathon will be going towards the prize pools for future tournaments. Any donation to the marathon will automatically have you entered to win a prize from our fantastic prize pool. You may proceed with your speedrun.
Of course.
The movie.
I'm just hitting things. So what was actually an interesting thing that happened in practice, which it's hard to explain, so I'll try my best. When you kill an enemy, he flies away. If you were standing on an enemy when you kill it, you will fly away with it out of bounds. And so what actually happened to me is when I killed the enemies and got the third laundry detergent, I accidentally slammed an enemy right at the end, which sent it flying and me with it. And what actually happened is it flew me into one of the train load zones, but since the next cutscene forces Patrick into a position, it put Patrick in the position it wanted him to be in, then loaded him through the train load zone to be spawned in a completely different place.
Are those enemies supposed to be in this cutscene?
No. Those are the enemies that are there from when we left the sock room. Since when we left the sock room, we killed the enemies that the game spawned thinking that we finished the crane room, which is the room that we skipped.
Yeah, Sam wants to know if we can get him in Discord call and put him on the couch.
Gosh.
No. Well, think like this. It's either him or the Y button.
That's facts,
Yeah.
though. Yo, let me see that Y button.
Oh, you want to hold it?
What do you got to say, man?
Yeah, we're saving every single chance we have now.
He's a little bit shy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Starfish Man has arrived at the dreaded Patrick's
I've been playing this game for a good amount of time. This is genuinely the most I've learned about this game in a while.
Has dreaded Patrick decorated his lair with purple or blue stripes? The plot thickens.
It's a blind run of the game now.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Oh, Starfish Man, so glad you made it. You're just in time to see the culmination of my evil plan.
Thank you, Y.
Really added,
Stimulating conversation.
And you'll see
added a lot, really. Let's be real.
I got the sleepy seed in the stock room, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know I spun the antennas. Did you see me actually get the seed?
These guys are always
Yeah.
scrapes, and look who has to save them.
Yes.
I'll go with it.
To beat me there first.
I wish the camera could have caught that glare you just gave me.
The problem is that I'm usually used to running this category, and then I got used to running any percent. So I'm in a state where I'm used to running both categories. So I'm trying to figure out if I do an accidental all sleepy seeds instinct, or if I'm doing an any percent instinct. Which, by the way, not saying all sleepy seeds abbreviation, very hard to do.
What is it?
All sleepy seeds.
Yeah, there
Exactly.
you go.
Correct.
You can,
All SS. All Skyward Swords.
With the best motion controls on the Wii.
Correct. Next to, of course, the only good game on the Wii,
Bowling.
Monkey Mischief. Carnival Games.
Well, excuse for a sea creature. Don't do that.
More of an Atlantis Scorpianus kind of guy. It's just that's just me.
I played that on the PlayStation 2.
Did you enjoy it?
No.
Damn.
Actually, I'll say
Wow.
that I enjoyed it for the fact that I sat there playing it with a friend that was like, come on, it can't be that bad. And I was like, it's that bad. And then we just laughed the whole time because it's just like,
Take that. And that. And that.
it's an experience you need to have with another person.
Five-pointed fathead.
Either with someone that you want to not like you anymore, or someone that you like in general. So we don't really need snoozies, but this game likes to lag sometimes. So we just make sure to get those snoozies. Also, thing to note, I'm at 1 health, but now I'm at 5 health. Every time you get a checkpoint, your health refreshes. And although the checkpoints aren't clearly visible in this level, they do exist.
Chatter, Sam said that he would like a word with you.
Yeah?
would you like me to actually get him on call real quick?
And like, what, put him up to my ear and talk to him? Like,
If that would work, I guess.
I was gonna hold him up just to my mic.
Yeah.
I would strenuously recommend against that.
yeah,
Well, I think that's our answer then.
there you go.
It's just a free.
Sam, you've been denied by the system. So this is Plankton's dream, is getting chased by a Krabby Patty. Which is weird, but we don't judge here. So this Krabby Patty is going to chase us for 5 levels, during which we have the ability to move, jump, and shoot our Despiculator, which is just a really cool way to say freeze away. Freeze way. Freeze ray.
Please, way.
The soundtrack's good. I feel like that's every time something's bad in this game, I'm like, at least the soundtrack's good. And every time I can't think of something to say in the movie, I'm like, soundtrack is killer.
So good.
Just let the soundtrack do the commentary.
Ooh, I hit that. Nice.
So many musical instruments.
Yeah. Oh,
So how do we get
3
sleepy
of them.
seeds in these levels? Very good question. There's blueprints. You collect 3 blueprints in a level, and you get the sleepy seed at the end given to you. So Sandy's in this game, pretty crazy.
Yeah, there she is. Alright, that's a good appearance.
She's gone now.
Road, you idiot!
Wow.
I genuinely don't think I've ever actually listened to that voice line before.
Things were easier I was small.
This is definitely the level where you just moan while doing it and look at chat. Actually, there's a different level for that.
Someone should call the mayor about this.
Oh, also, I just thought of something, but it's like situational-ish.
Well, I suppose I'll have to try.
I'll make the claim that for new Super Wii, shaking the Wiimote is good use of motion controls for like the spinning or like the propeller suit. But I really don't like it in the sense of using. Actually, no. Do you shoot fireballs and ice balls with the run button or shaking in that game?
Run button.
Oh, then yeah, I like motion controls in new Super Wii.
As somebody who has speedrun that game,
That's fair. I'm looking at it from a casual point.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just like, I'd rather be using a controller where I can do that with a button.
Yeah,
You
that
know?
makes sense.
Wii Sports Resort as well. Just good with the swords. Honestly, just all like the Wii Sports games are solid.
I like how, or like, what are good uses of motion control? Swords, yes.
Pretty great.
Anything else? Bowling. Okay. Covered all grounds.
We did it.
Bowling was legit.
It still is legit.
I like when you throw it backwards and everyone jumps up.
Should we just set up Wii Sports over there or something?
Yeah, just set up the practice room. So, this is a really cool part of the run where we have to do a mini game.
He's asleep.
Now, the majority of mini games in this run, there are a couple. Majority of them, we actually have to wait out the timer, where it's like you have to try to win within a certain allotted time, but winning doesn't make the game end faster.
Okay, that was a
So-
bit too close.
Shouldn't you be like holding the controller since you're
I'm
part
putting
of
on
the
my
speedrun?
sweatshirt.
Okay.
Are we about to play Pepsi Man?
Got one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Can't let that happen.
That's all we ever played.
No. We play Simpsons Road Rage.
Oh yeah.
I like Burns Area.
Oh, me.
I like level 5.
Level 5 is my favorite.
Level 5's great.
I should be
Soundtrack's
more
pretty good.
cautious next
Yeah,
time.
especially on level 5.
Wait, isn't the soundtrack for every level the same in that game?
I wouldn't know. It was my first run.
Watch it.
So what's really cool about this level is, notice how I'm just picking up the controller now. I'm not moving it at all. Yet I'm still meeting the target score that it wants me to get to get an actual payout.
Good work, Plankton.
I think that's supposed to be Karen. I don't really know.
All right,
Yeah,
dude.
thank you.
Nice! That was
Nice.
pretty good intense, dude.
I was like,
Welcome to
scared.
Bikini Bottom, a quiet town famed for its fine eateries, its
So,
calm atmosphere.
in this
and for
chapter,
that,
the loading screens just show the
thing
route
on
that
left there.
you will be taking.
I don't know what that is.
Or the route that
And
you already
just
took.
ignore
I
it, huh?
no, yeah, the route that you will be taking in the next level, which is pretty cool.
Patty ever cease to hound me?
So we now have on the board one cool thing about Supersized Patty.
Patty's on ice for a while.
So this is.
my
Oh,
bad,
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you.
No, I was gonna say something stupid that wasn't relevant.
Just
Very
do
un-
it. Go with it.
I was just gonna say we hit the 1 hour mark not too long ago, so we just gotta do that 3 more times and we're set.
Yeah. 1/3, guys.
Oh, this is a good use of motion controls. This is faster than using. Oh no, it's not. It is not faster than using a button if we just want to stop randomly. Looking at it now.
So confirmed not good use.
Okay, well there's some good use of it in this game.
Jury's still out.
Yeah. So in this level, the levels just kind of look different. Like, of course there are different obstacles, but it's one of those things where it's like major milestones are what you remember within the levels. Also, these gears I haven't explained at all. They're gears. They don't do anything. You don't really need to collect them. They're just in your way.
You're just gonna leave it at their gears.
Yeah. I think they're meant to serve as like a way of telling you how far in the level you are. But there's a level where there's 4 gears, and then the 5th gear is literally right next to the end. So.
Oh, I do remember this. I think he's trying to build like a gadget or something, like in the plot.
Oh, to shrink.
Yeah,
Shrink
shrink the
patty.
patty.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there's like tools.
It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, plot. Patrick had a Plankton had a Krabby Patty. He wanted it big. Now it's big and mutant. Plankton no happy.
To actually say something interesting about this game, like, as I mentioned earlier, the SpongeBob stages were kind of modeled after that sort of Rob Zombie style, and Patrick's stages were modeled after sort of the comic book aesthetic. This is sort of based on the like classic horror movie, you know, monster movie kind of thing. And it's interesting that each character's stages are kind of based on a specific theme, their aesthetic.
Yeah.
Without him seeing me.
SpongeBob movie game was
Oh, wait.
actually based off the movie, contrary to popular belief.
Oh, yeah, if he looks at you and you jump, you lose points, or when you move. It's okay, I'll still make sure to win the game by just jumping. Oh, please turn around again. No, dude. Just lost like 4 points right there.
Oh man.
Record's dead.
It's over.
It's over.
Turn around, please. There's gonna be an object coming from the left soon. Yeah, that vase is gonna make him look behind me. I need either one more object from the left or from above. Yo. Yeah. Alright, cool. These minigames present challenge. The best part about these minigames is that they're actually really good for 100% because they give you a lot of snoozies, like a ton. So what they actually do in 100% right now, the best way for grinding is just running through the game, getting all like the gold snooze they can, and at the end just playing back through Supersized Patty, keeping track of how many snoozies they get, and then just leaving the level once they get all the snoozies they need. Like they're just everywhere. Every jellyfish you kill, every box you break. So this is actually a really unique level in the sense that A, the patty doesn't chase you immediately in the beginning, you have to get to like a certain checkpoint, and B, there's a sleepy seed just out in the open as well as blueprints.
Music in this game is very good.
It's pumping.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, oh, I didn't really know. I don't know how they just end up having like good soundtracks.
Oh no, he's gaining on me. Patty's on ice for a while.
I don't know why people were screaming. I don't really know what building this is. For the longest time, I thought this was Plankton's, not house, the chum bucket lab, but it's not.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Just some generic industrial park somewhere.
The industrial park.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Shouts to Igor. I don't actually know. The thing that stinks about these levels is that they don't really have names, which is cool because we get to name our splits fun things. If you still want to name like the names of the levels. Like I think my splits for this is, since there's 5 levels, it's I really hate this level. And then people can just do different things with whatever, or just not have sub-splits. But I genuinely have no clue where we are.
Don't you know who I am?
Congratulations, Plankton. Blueprint acquired.
I just realized I saved that Starfish Man thing from earlier, so I can like look into that. That's cool. I didn't even think of that.
Tiny arms.
That was just kind of a just in case thing.
He's asleep. And if I'm very careful, I can gather together my important equipment without him seeing me.
So how's the Y button doing?
Too close
It's doing
for
alright.
me.
It's very comfortable.
Now
Makes me
I've done
happy.
it.
He's pretty chill.
Pretty chill.
Pretty cute.
He's vibing.
Vibing.
Vibin'.
Go me.
Oh, I need to actually jump to make sure I get enough points.
To the collection.
I don't need to win the minigame.
You darn thing!
There's one minigame I need to win, one minigame I need to lose.
I thought he had
But,
me for sure.
This one doesn't really matter.
It just feels good to win.
That's a way to put it.
Collection. Oh no! That was a close one.
Okay, cool.
Yes!
Oh, wait.
When will the crabbiness?
No! Whatever. I
Uh.
didn't save on instinct. Don't crash right now.
Bikini
Okay,
Bottom
good.
has
Yeah.
a long, proud, and noble history of sporting
it.
events at its stadium. Well, except for that incident with the rabid shrimp. Let's not talk about that, huh?
So this is the only level we really have memorized. This is the stadium.
Will this patty
Um,
ever cease to hound me?
Easily the worst level in well, easily the hardest level in terms of what it is. Worst is definitely going to the last level because instead of being 3 minutes of this, it's 4 minutes.
That will slow you down.
So the stadium, we just go around in a circle for a while. Oh, crud. So what I wanted to do is preserve the momentum from the slope into jumps there. But I messed it up a bit, so I can at least show that here.
Yes! That
So this voice line's really gonna... This voice line really annoys me. Which I'll explain why.
This is an amazing game we're having here today, Dale, with the Bikini Bottom Particles about to win their first game ever.
The only thing that could ruin it for them would be if the game
We have a question. How long does this run? It is just over 3 hours.
Correct. I hope it'll still be just over 3 hours with the difficulties we had in Dreaded Patrick, but yeah. Generally this run spans from anywhere from like from 3 hours to like 3 hours 15 minutes. So this level annoys me a lot because when you come in, they're like, oh, they're gonna win their first game ever. And then they're like, oh, the Barnacles have lost. That continues their 76-year losing streak. Like, what does that mean to have a losing streak in sports?
For 76 years.
They just lost every single game. Like that, the wording of that makes me so unhappy. I'm not even a sports person, like at all.
What a bunch of barnacles.
That's what I'm saying. Also, if you die at any of these points, you get respawned right before the gear. So that's not really something we want to do. This layer, there's a bunch of smoke. We need to not get hit by it. Generally, that means we hope and pray that we're on a good cycle because the goal of a speedrun is just to hold right, which that was almost really bad.
I thought it was to hold Y.
Well, got me. So that's called freezing the enemy when it doesn't want it to freeze. I kind of just shot at it and it was like, freeze, mister, and he just you know, continued. That's just a thing that can happen with any jellyfish in the game. Whenever you shoot at it. I don't know why at all. So proof that these gears like absolutely positively mean nothing. Gonna not get that one. We don't need to fix our machine anyway. Coming up, there's this blueprint, which is definitely super cool to get if I didn't mess it up. So with that blueprint, you want to jump on the bouncy part and swoop around the right to the left to pick up the sleepy seed, and then back around the right to continue. We're gonna get this now for good luck. I was gonna say, I literally need to get it like that now because of the patty. Alright. So yeah, this is the level where the gear's just here. Doesn't do anything special. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you guys like this minigame?
1.
Gather
10.
together my important equipment without him seeing me.
That adds up to 11.
Had me for sure.
It's a pretty good score. Yeah.
Very good score. I have 12 though, so I guess I'm better.
No.
Yeah.
still, he might not have seen you.
I actually don't know if you can beat this one without moving.
Quiet, you infernal objects.
Oh. No, it was better for me to just sit here.
That was a close one.
I could have jumped and gotten 4 and 2, but then lost 5. But
Get me.
these vases are so annoying.
Stay still, he might not have seen
By the way,
you.
PSA, you can move in this game.
Darn thing.
You do it with the D-pad.
You just don't have to.
You just don't really have to.
Woohoo! Go me.
We catch that vase. Doesn't add to our score, but we don't want to wake up the
Don't
patty.
mess with Plankton.
But yeah, look. 1 over the score gave us 140. So that's nearly 1.5 prizes at the
Bikini Bottom has
shop.
many sites of historical importance. There's that place with the thing.
So now they're
and
going to loop all the way
there's,
back
that
around to the chum
other
bucket.
Thing, and oh, who am I kidding? Nothing ever happens in Bikini Bottom. Hey, I can see my mare from here. Hello, my mare.
Hey, Bennett, what does my mare mean?
Doesn't it mean like my mom?
Alright, cool.
I thought he meant the mayor.
That'll teach you.
So now that the patty's dead, we can just safely walk home.
Stop that rampaging patty.
Okay, I lied.
I thought you said the patty was dead.
I
Patty's on
might have lied
ice
a little bit.
for a while.
Just the time.
Nothing dies in dreams. The patty was never alive to begin with.
I thought if you died in your dreams, you died in real life.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
I wouldn't be here if that were true.
Okay.
Wonderful weather we're having.
When I was small.
Yeah.
The
Shoutouts.
sun's rising.
Shoutouts to 5 a.m.
Just 5 a.m.
Won't catch me now. Chill out.
You know the beautiful part about this? We're not even halfway done.
God.
Okay, but this is like the only low point of the run for a good while.
That is true.
And it's just an hour and a half of this.
There's been a high point.
Oh man.
I would have said Dreaded Patrick was a really great high point, but some things just don't happen the way you plan them to. And I had to reload the save in diesel. You know what? You might be on something.
Mess with Plankton.
No. Do I have all the blueprints? No, I don't. I should have 2.
Take that, obstacle. Someone should call the mayor about this. My
I hit the pause button.
arms.
Just RNG manipulation.
Of course.
Hey, seeking up global cycles.
Faster.
It's actually some arbitrary code execution.
Of course. We're actually going to be playing Flappy Bird in Creature from the Krusty Krab.
Yeah.
Wee.
That's my thought.
Just gotta fix the frame rule.
Congratulations, Plankton. Blueprint acquired.
Freeze, mister.
Oh, that's a very cool patty. Those hazards are like meant to set up to hit you, but like you gotta just hold right and they don't. So
You know, I'm coming back around the song for this level after having heard it for like the last 4 stages now.
is that a positive or negative?
Just a
I'm
statement.
not certain.
Well,
I've
now, oops, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
We're about to get to, in my opinion, what I see as like the climax of the game's story.
At the halfway point?
Oh.
Well, like, it's a moment of, for lack of a better word, like epicness. It's really cool.
It's really epic.
So you get like this SpongeBob wakes up from his bed car, and he's just falling. And it has like the really cool theme song. You're falling through a bunch of stuff. It sounds awesome, looks awesome. We can just put our thing here and not do anything, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, intense gameplay.
Yeah. Like this, playing casually, this is like a really high point for the game because it just like feels awesome.
So if this is the climax, it's all downhill from here. Then we have the falling action.
Oh, the falling action doesn't have to be bad.
Well, I mean, I think it's quite literally all downhill from here.
Oh, this. Oh yeah, you're right.
This
is
is
the
the
falling
falling
action.
So one thing I'll definitely take credit for when it comes to strats for this game, everybody used to actually, you know, like hold their controller during parts and move around their analog sticks. I'm the father of what we call lazy strats, where we kind of like maybe play the game a little bit, but not like, we don't play the game for certain. But the game is definitely on.
Definitely exists.
The lazy strats are very cool. See, that was cool, right?
It's pretty awesome.
It looked cool at least. Oh, okay.
I thought it was great.
I'm gonna save here since I
I
didn't
had
save.
fun.
between
I had a
levels.
lot of fun.
So now we're in, like, actually in Alaskan belly trouble.
The anatomy
This
of
is
the worm
the.
contains several
I'll let him
distinct
talk.
chambers, including the digestive tube, the pharynx, and those wiggly little bits on the end there.
Alright, so this is the second level that has SpongeBob. You're inside of an Alaskan bullworm. You need to get parts for a plane that everyone's favorite SpongeBob character is building. The classic, yet somewhat modern, Old Man Jenkins. The pilot.
Purple Foundation is in the chat.
Awesome. Tell him I love him.
You can.
He loves you. There you go.
Thanks.
No, sirree, there ain't no digesting going on. We're respectable folks. Just ask all the people who live down here.
So yeah, there's actually just people that live in this worm. Because the worm digests, but not a lot.
It's moist and slimy. I absorb moist sliminess. I've got to get out of here.
So we're gonna go for a trick right after this cutscene. We're going to spin a little thingy and then run into what would be a cutscene. We're gonna try to pause where the game says skip cutscene while we haven't been pulled to the cutscene location. So if we get it, every single text just basically instantly skips in a trick called fast text glitch. So it'd be pretty cool to get. It's not vital for anything, but it'd be very useful considering the difficulties this run so far.
Those castaways usually help me out. You should talk to their chief.
Oh, I missed repressing the pause button. That's fine. Means we just actually have to talk. So apparently I'm dashing right now. Didn't even know that was a thing you could do.
Excuse me.
It's your first run.
You at this point, from how amazed I am at just the amount of things that are happening, you think. So because we're on Wii, we can stand on enemies. So we actually don't want to save the chief. We want to bring this guy over here. So you know how SpongeBob absorbs moist sliminess? He actually just means he phases right through it. So this tongue that's inside of the worm's stomach, we can jump through when I make the jump. So the reason, that's unfortunate. The reason we use the spaghetti arm upon our second jump is that it gives a little more height. As stated earlier, the spaghetti arm gives you a little more height, while the sand slap gives you like a little bit of clipping onto an edge, which we really want the more height here. It's possible to do with just the sand slap, but it's like really, really not as fun.
Spinning is gross. I'll deflect it by spinning.
Remember, kids, SpongeBob says spinning is gross.
Facts.
So with this shadow, we can just kind of double jump and skip a button. Wow, I can't right now. Just double jump, skip a button. This is dope. And then there's just a bunch of spinny things. Now thinking about it, I really don't know what they are. I'm gonna say that they're like spinny power things because there's like a dial on it. So by giving these power, we make a winch spawn after we grab a sleepy seed. And from here, we can get these anchors to give us the height to get up here. So we don't really need to actually climb things to use anchors. So these are little crabs that are like in the worm that are enemies. I don't know why. I don't actually think it's explained why they're enemies. I think it's just like, oh wow, there are enemies here. Or they're villains, I guess is how the game probably words them.
Are you guys here for book club? Whoa, I guess not.
So an interesting thing to note about all these combat areas is that the majority of them are actually progressed from killing the big enemies. So me killing those little enemies didn't really do anything. I just kind of won them away. Oh, and there's one still alive, if that helps push anything. But a lot of the times I'll be just focusing the bigger armored enemies, and if I kill any little enemies, it's just because they feel like being in the way. Ooh, whoopsies.
Oh, how silly of me. I'm kind of trapped over here.
These fish guys are all trapped with funny hats on.
Thanks, Spongy dude.
I mean, except for her. She doesn't have a hat on. So we need to save all of them. There's just some quick movement.
Nice work, yellow guy.
It's a good voice actor.
Honestly.
I want to meet that guy.
So we can get fast text glitch again here, but it's not super useful, so we'll try. I didn't get it. Shame.
Anything, just help me out here.
Well, what have we here?
So in this area, we just need to get rid of all these crabs, and then she will, please, and she will spawn for us the winch, like 50 feet away from her. Oh, I'm wrong. She actually just spawns platforms for us to get hit a button. This is my first run.
What level is this?
It's the 5th level.
Yeah, it's level 5.
That's what I thought. I'm not very good at counting, I apologize.
It's okay.
So one of us isn't good at counting, one of us can't read, and the other one is...
It's the same person.
Wait. Your guys' voices have just fused.
Yeah, it's 5 a.m.
It's 5 a.m. Yeah. It's level 5 a.m.
Can't even count for that.
So a lot of the movement we're just doing, it's just like we're helping people, but we really don't care about those people. They're just helping us. We want to really save the chief's wife, which we didn't get to see since we did tongue skip. But the whole thing is he's like, we'll give you playing part as long as you save my wife. So we have to go save the Butte.
An itch on my nose. Please help.
Excuse me, mister. Could you help a poor villager out?
So this room is nothing like super special. It's just a room where we have to save a bunch of people.
Oh, thank you.
And they say something every time we save them. Shocking.
Thank you for releasing me.
Thanks, little sponge.
Hopefully we get at least one nice work yellow guy.
Nice work,
there it
yellow
is.
Guy.
So cool.
Smoothest man on the planet.
You're on my Christmas card list.
Yes.
Nice.
I don't have to continue this run. I'm on the list.
Christmas card percent.
I've gotten the crash percent and the Christmas card percent world records today.
GG.
2 in one night.
So this winch is really fun because it looks like the door's closed and then it's like not. And when you're doing motion controls and you have no sense of how done you are, it's super intuitive and fun. What am I doing? Wait.
I've honestly been wondering that for the last hour and 35 minutes.
Wait.
But what are you doing?
Oh, that's fair. I'm thinking that I might have missed a sleepy seed somewhere.
You better not have.
It's 70%.
I think I definitely did, actually. Hopefully I didn't. I think we'll see at this sleepy seed.
So, if you did, what do you got to do about that?
The game is really weird.
Really?
And
It's crazy.
okay. Yeah, you know, we're just gonna continue with that. Game's really weird and generally still lets you do that level if you missed one. Oh, was it a plankton one? I have no clue if I missed it then or not. So, we saved the wife. There she is. Isn't she beautiful?
You did have concerns that you missed the one back in that starfish level. Do you think that was the one?
No, I definitely got that one. I mean,
Okay.
there's one in this level I think I might have missed. Looking at it.
No, seriously, you can take her.
Don't you want her to stay here?
I'm confident I got it.
Turns
I don't
out
know
she's
why I
not
wouldn't.
as pretty as I thought.
Wait.
But she's always been a fine companion and would make a fine
Yeah,
addition to
I
a
need to make sure the sleepy seed I'm
project.
actually thinking of is in this level.
Failing that, there's the old junk pile.
You're
If you find
80%
something in that
confident.
lucky dip.
Yes.
That's an A.
There you go.
So this is a mini game.
Okay, SpongeBob, you can rummage around in the junk pile for playing parts. Just make sure you put the
That's
right
all I got.
colored junk in the right colored bucket.
This is a mini game.
Forgot about this.
Oh, best part. Motion controls.
That's a good use of motion controls.
Very.
Alright, what do you guys want to talk about?
Oh, God, a toaster. Oh, man.
Okay, we're good.
All right. You make toast. Make breakfast.
So now that we can make breakfast, what do you guys want to make with the toaster?
A nap.
A nap. Yeah.
Nap.
Hey, Proto.
Yeah.
Your run's after this.
I know. That Red Bull might come in handy.
Double toaster? Double toaster, yo.
Please. Oh my god, I'm not gonna be. No! No!
Oh no.
Toasters in the hand is worth 2 on the treadmill.
Did you actually need that?
No, not at all. What you're supposed to do is put the right colors in like the right shoots. Sometimes they fall there naturally. Other times, like this green one, just need a little guidance. Oh, you're a good spatcher.
Keep up the good work, boy.
And it does not matter if he wins this, does it?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Noticing a trend here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to try.
This is the first time in an hour that I realized it was loading, so I was very scared it was going to crash.
Species, including crustaceans, small fish,
So this second area
and
is
slimy
the
things that
inventor's
care.
area. There's an inventor. He needs to finish an invention. You need to get some parts for him, and he'll give you a plain part. Oh, by the way, if you didn't catch that, the chief gave us his wife. To quote him, she's not as pretty as I thought.
The big cheese said his wife was always supportive.
And apparently she's always supportive.
Enough stuff? Can we take off now? Please, please.
So now we get to use her in our plane.
SpongeBob, it ain't that simple. The bird ain't fixed up yet. There's an inventor lives nearby. You should talk to him.
So we are again going to try to get fast text glitch. However, last time we had 2 chances. This time we only have this one from the hub. So hopefully we can get that out.
Fingers crossed.
Yep. I'm gonna hold the controller like this. Nice. So as you saw, it said skip cutscene before we were even in the location. It's just making so that the dialogue tries to do it for a little bit, but it doesn't really want to.
Riveting.
Very.
I'm actually much more engaged with it now.
I am too, because now I don't have to sit in a cutscene for like 30 seconds.
Heck yeah.
That happens a couple times during this. Sadly, that means all audio is gone. So I don't even think SpongeBob makes sound when he gets hurt, other than the hurt sound. Oh, no, he does. Pardon me.
Is it honestly such a problem?
Well,
Here we go.
I'm not gonna answer that
whoa,
question.
whoa.
Here we go. Oh, whoa. First, okay.
First try.
Yeah.
First try.
Yeah.
Oh, did I? Oh, I barely didn't get that cutscene overlap. The thing you can actually do is get a cutscene overlap with this and the other cutscene, but barely missed it. So that's Paul. No, we already had a Paul. No, wait, we had a Ron. So we have Ron and Paul now. We're gonna let him be because he decided not to attack me this run. It's this cool little thing you can do where you can. Oh, I messed it up. You can generally just skip this cutscene of it panning over if your heart desires. But I guess my heart did not desire tonight. Okay. We're back. So now we need to get this sleepy seed, so we're just gonna you. Then of course we're gonna have a riveting conversation. Means I'll have to explain stuff. He's basically like, good work. Sometimes like, thanks. He's like, go get another one. Sometimes like, okay.
You should have done these cutscenes.
I should have done all the voice lines. I can only think now what I would have been told if I was told to voice line, you're going really fast and you're just really pumped about it. I don't know why I got scared of that. Yeah, but this level definitely until the third. Well, actually, that's not true. Now looking at it. For the puzzle rooms, they are just going to be like puzzles. But for the actual rooms that house the power cells that we need to hit, we'll be doing some pretty cool stuff in there. What sucks about this room is that we need to kill all these enemies, and we need to spin this winch. That actually spawns. No, I'm wrong. So that spawns a different winch. We need to kill all these enemies, which in turn spawns a winch. But we can actually use these enemies to get up to where the winch is going to spawn, but then we have no way of killing the enemy once we're up there. So it's like, we can get up there without a winch early, or we can get the winch up there and still have to spin this winch. Oh, these doors are locked, and this like gives power to the door. Oop. There we go. So this room is pretty cool. We have a combat arena here. Okay, cool. So that was a good fight. So the inventors.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
The inventor's like, wow, good job. I need one more. SpongeBob's like, do I have to? And the inventor's like, no. SpongeBob's like, okay. So we go get it now again. So fun thing about this room, you can move after you hit this button right here. And if you break the crates and actually void out and die, your file's soft locked in this room.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. But the reason, okay, my file got soft locked to a thing that you should never do casually. This you can easily do casually. Because the game thinks the button is pressed so that you can't open the door, but the door's not open.
You mean to tell me this game's not perfectly made?
I would never say such a thing.
We already established it as the best motion controls in Wii history.
That is true.
That's facts, though.
On par with bowling.
On par.
It's not wrong.
Just would like to bring up the fact again that if I had to do every single dash by doing this with the
I think you've made your point, honestly.
I would not be running this version. I did it! Woo! I controlled the game how the manual tells me it's supposed to be controlled. So SpongeBob's really happy. He's talking to himself. And then anchors appear from the sky. Which is what usually happens when you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
This is okay. Anyone want to name that crab that we're not gonna kill?
Michael.
Alright, that's Michael. It's his birthday today. So this room is pretty cool. We have to spin 3 winches. Is what the game wants us to do. But also, SpongeBob knows how to jump, which is pretty cool. So we can just skip 2 out of 3 winches. What stinks is that we can actually double jump spaghetti arm grab the part over there, but then we void out before the game tries to bring us to the inventor cutscene. Ooh, if I get really unlucky. Okay. So there was a chance that that damaging looking green goo was going to be on top of me when that cutscene ended, which probably would have knocked me off the edge. So, so there were 2 chances to get fast hex glitch in the last level because there were 3 different of those load zones that took you up by the tube, where I had to skip a cutscene like twice when I entered them. This level only has 1. So technically speaking, we still have fast hex glitch. SpongeBob doesn't want to talk right now. And that means something pretty cool that I'll show you coming up.
After this wonderful minigame.
Of course. Decided I'm going to play the minigame in case someone walks by the room. So it looks like I'm playing the game. Okay, well I guess I'm not getting that extra. Also, I want to beat it to put into perspective how many snoozies you do get from supersized padding and its minigames. Uh-oh. You guys see what I seen?
Oh, another toaster.
Crap. I mean crud. Sorry.
Nice sensor, nice sensor.
It's over.
Okay.
Toaster percent.
Yes. Does it always just spawn 2 toasters? I don't know, this is my first run. Alright, so this will put it into perspective. When I got 1 over the target last time, I got, you know, like 140. I just got 23 snoozies. Alright, so we just saved the game. So what's actually happening is, because of fast hex glitch, it will never actually try to load the next level. And pressing the reset button through the game, or on the Wii, will actually just, fast hex glitch will still exist. So, getting fast hex glitch and ignoring all the dialogue in that level, and having to reset the entire Wii, ends up being faster than not doing fast hex glitch and just listening to them ramble, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I like that input.
Trouble.
It's 540. Look, I don't got much else to add.
So now that we reset and like went through from the Wii menu, fast hex glitch is over, which lets us actually load into the next level.
The interior chambers of our bullworm are highly sensitive and are easily upset by parasites and spicy food. They quite like toast, though.
So this is the last level of the worm.
Toasters.
That is why they have toasters.
You done good.
Oh, so now we have like a weird sprocket from the inventor. Oh, by the way, the inventor's machine was just to make the perfect cup of tea. That's all it was. There's nothing really special about it.
Sorry, SpongeBob, it ain't that simple. Something's got this here worm belly all fired up.
So this is the rear.
Gut juice levels are
We're
so
just gonna
high,
go to the
and
rear
I'm
and
thinking when I ain't
unclog
seen
the
these
rear
numbers
by hitting a chili
if
can.
someone was to find out why and sort it
yeah.
out. Oh, hello.
Oh, me. Yes. Never fear. SpongeBob to the rescue. Which way was it to the rescue again?
Towards, how should I put this delicately? The rear.
So you can get fast text glitch here too, but there's just not enough text in the rear that actually makes it like really worth it.
It's no use. No one is gonna save us. We're trapped here forever.
So this is Guy.
I hear the sounds of
He's a guy.
trapped villagers.
This is Guy Skip. We skipped the guy. That is the genuine name of the skip. Like if we had to skip a girl, we would probably call it Girl Skip.
Probably.
Good, I guess.
Yeah. Alright, so that was Girl Skip.
Thanks, Chatter. Thanks.
We kind of just jumped in the game and was like, okay, you win this round. Like I don't know what else to explain. They wanted us to free them, then spin a winch. I said no, and the game was like, I respect that.
What?
Never mind, the game does not respect that.
What?
This is also a really cool moment in the game too, with like the platform syncing and this music going on. Just usually the attraction demo music. And it sounds really dope.
You know, at least at these parts of the run, it feels like a speed run.
Yeah, we're not super size fatty. That's correct.
Yeah.
Shout out to the collision in this game.
Oh, the collision in this game is almost better than the stability.
Almost.
So we're gonna go for a whole skip called soft lock skip. Now, it's not like that's gonna hit me. Okay. It's not like Nitro puzzle skip and the fact that it can soft lock. It was called soft lock skip just because it was called that before it was even a skip. On the Wii and on the GameCube and PS2 versions, getting over to that area without doing the puzzles normally, the enemies actually aren't spawned. But on the Wii version, those enemies are just spawned in the beginning of the level for some reason, or when you get to this area. So because those enemies are loaded in, we're able to actually finish this area. And then there's another thing, bread skip. This happens because we can jump on enemies. There's some bread over here. We bring an enemy over here. We skip the bread, which basically skips just fighting enemies that keep on spawning. And so then here's a really cool thing, or at least I thought it was cool when I was told about it. So this spawns 4 of the pinwheel unicycle guys and 2 of the armored guys. So the unicycle guys, when killed, as well as the armored guys, have a cutscene for some platforms to rise. But if you just kill the armored guys, no cutscene happens at all. You can just leave, I don't know, Blinky, Inky, Pinky, and Clyde to be alone.
I feel like I've heard those names before.
Who knows?
Yeah, they were from this game. They're pretty popular.
Oh, okay.
They were also featured in Blitz games, not Blitz games. In what was it? The lead designer. We looked at this earlier today because we were like, this game looks really good. Who designed it?
Oh yeah.
And the lead designer of this game actually was also the lead designer for Pac-Man World 3.
So clearly that's the connection.
Yeah, of course.
I'm actually gonna look that up.
What, the guy's name?
Yeah.
Wikipedia percent.
Yeah.
I like how for the movie run I'm all like worked up because it's the first run I'm doing. I don't want to like mess anything up, and it all goes well except for the skip that we all expected to be either hit or miss. And then I get the creature, I'm all calm and stuff. Game crashes. I soft lock and thankfully have a save. I soft lock again and thankfully have a save. Like, why? So we gotta get a sleepy seed over here. There's that chili can.
Stephen Thompson was the guy's name.
Gotcha.
I love him.
So this is a mini game.
Oh, don't start doing that. Then I'll yawn. Then chat will yawn. And
My bad.
Forget to match the colors.
Whoopsie! Sorry, Mr. Inventor.
So SpongeBob's talking again. Thank goodness. What would we do without him?
Whoopsie! Sorry, Mr. Inventor.
why is he doing this if the machine's already been built?
No, that's not
Good question.
Out of the goodness of his heart.
Sorry, Mr. Inventor.
I just realized you do this for the inventor before you even meet the inventor.
SpongeBob.
I don't even know if I want to blame SpongeBob or if I want to blame Blitz Games. Just flat out. Actually, I can't take that coconut. My heart is for the toaster.
Now we're talking.
Keep up the good work, boy.
It's like tidying up. Only
So this level went relatively well, I'd say. Sadly, the rear is the last section of Alaskan Belly Trouble. But to put into perspective how long each of the levels are in this... It was meant to be. To put into perspective how long each of the levels are in this section, counting the free fall section as its own level, there are 4 levels in Alaskan Belly Trouble, and it's only... It's around the same length as Diesel Dreaming, which was 7 levels. So this is Rocket Rodeo.
Oh, no.
This is... If Supersized Patty was a pseudo auto-scroller,
Why are all these hoops and
this is
spades?
just a genuine auto-scroller.
Still tied to this rock.
One of the reasons I like this category over any percent is that I still have to kind of pay attention during this section to make sure I don't miss any sleepy seeds.
A big, giant,
But in any percent, this this area is literally find a spot where I can just put Patrick and just interact with chat. That's the entirety of this level.
Cushions, some new drapes. Be a nice place.
And what the worst part is about this level is that it has a mini game that you can lose really quickly, but it has killer music, so you barely get to hear that.
It seems so obvious now.
And you only play it once. So it's like you play that minute 30 long mini game 3 times, and then you just play this like not even 30-second long mini game that you lose once. It's like, why?
With probably one of the best songs in the game.
Easily. So that's a giant robotic Krabby Patty. He is the antagonist. I don't know why.
The lore of this game is deep.
Yes.
That's the word I'd use.
Any explanation is it's SpongeBob, it's a dream, or I don't know.
Mostly the last one.
Yeah.
That was strange. Oh well. Back to flying through space tied to a rocket.
Oh, let me explain how we're on a rocket, because that's actually something I know. So at the end of the combat tower in Dreaded Patrick, when we were, Starfish Man and we had to reload a save and all that, at the end of that combat tower, we actually saved the scientists from being tied at the top of the rocket. But we ended up getting tied on the top of the rocket now. And we were launched into space. And apparently space is just filled with water, which is clearly how we're breathing right now. Yeah. So now we're in space flying around something robotic patty something. That scared me.
It sounded real.
Yes, it did.
So I thought this was going for the PA system.
Okay, so this is a sleepy seed. We got the sleepy seed. So this is fuel. We have collected fuel.
Perhaps I should have stayed on my nice safe planet.
Alright, so First level's over. You get to see this really cool minigame and jam out for a couple seconds while it plays.
Oh, yeah.
These guys need my help. Sorry, aliens.
That's the whole game.
Oh.
It's so good though.
Imagine being able to lose a minigame in 13 seconds. Just beautiful.
Can't all the other minigames be like that?
As the only minigame like that.
With the best song in the game.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, that song sounds like something like one of the Guitar Hero, like well-known custom makers would make in the Alpha V studio.
So you remember that part where we drive faster? Because the game is like, oh, you're using motion controls, you need it. Well, this is another case of you're using motion controls, you need it. Your lasers are stronger. Either that or the health and everything has just been reduced to give the appearance that your lasers are stronger.
Let's try that again.
And now we're forced to go back through here because the game doesn't believe in me.
Aw.
We believe in you.
Thank you.
We're 2/3 of the way through.
We all, yeah.
As much as true.
It's pretty great.
Let's destroy more pillars.
Well, that's fine.
You'll not stop me.
I know it's 2 hours after we played movie, but I'm expecting a texture glitch somewhere, and I don't know why.
Just still feeling it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Creature, but with movie vibes.
Shooting wildly's working for me. Another door, huh?
Trying not to
How do I
yawn,
get out of here?
but it's not working.
Fly like you've never flown before.
I have never flown.
Which is totally because of sleep deprivation and not the auto scroll.
Even you just saying the word made me do it.
Pardon me.
Stop, dude.
So, what I thought was really cool about this game is that although it was made in 2005, it still has like many relatable cases to real life. Like right up here, we're about to meet this robot. We need to shoot these energy crystals to go through a door, as one does. And he lets us shoot them because it was just like an impulse buy, you know. He's shopping and he's like, oh, that's a really nice energy crystal, but then he has nowhere to put it.
You know, I was a little confused where you're gonna go with that. Respect it.
I felt that.
I mean, granted, I don't see energy crystals anymore while rug shopping, but you know when you're out and you just see a nice quality energy crystal.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And 99% you restrain yourself, but that 1% where you don't.
It's pretty great.
Also, let me note how this is the scariest level in the game for me because I kind of in an auto scroller and can't turn around if I miss a sleepy seed. So my best bet is dying, and if I just don't, once you run out of fuel, you have 3 seconds to try to get fuel, or then you die.
This doesn't look
Which
good.
means, depending on the location of the sleepy seed, there's just literally no way I can die. So when I was first running this category, I was on my heels, just staying at low health, in case of the event that I miss a sleepy seed, so then I can die and respawn.
Just got an hour left.
Woot woot. Hopefully that still pertains after.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
It should, because I'm still generally been playing solidly, but it would 100% would if I got fast text glitch in the first part of Belly Trouble, but I didn't, which isn't bad, but not preferred. So this is that giant Krabby Patty with like R2-D2 in the middle or something.
Just a lone starfish against a
pardon me.
mutated, angry fast food product. What would SpongeBob do? I know.
I appreciate
Take off
that
his
line.
wings.
Felt that.
Alright, so now this is the first auto scroller like quick kill in the run. 2 more of these exist, I think. Yes, 2 more of these exist, which are in a later level. This is actually the last level of Rocket Rodeo. So categories that we have is going into free play and actually playing all the levels of a specific character. So the most popular one is just Patrick percent or free play RTA Patrick. Generally just because the Patrick levels that exist are this just a short like 9-minute auto scroller. There's Dreaded Patrick, which is a action-filled level with a bunch of tricks. There's Rooftop Rumble, which has a bunch of stuff. And then there's the final race, which is also sadly an auto scroller for Patrick. But it's like you get to play the good parts. Like you have to wait a little bit, but you get to play the good parts, and that's what matters. So we're giant now. It just happens, you know.
Starting with those infernal dwellings over there.
So in reality, I genuinely don't know why we're giant.
Now, Karen, anything special I should know?
Do you know why he's glowing like that?
He's definitely giant due to atomic powered means. I can confirm that because he says that at least once. See, atomic destructo ray. We're good. So, the patty is also... Actually, I don't think the patty's really small, but it just looks it compared to us. So, if you were wondering why we just did the stanky leg right there, Plankton has a slam move where he like slams his foot on the ground, and how you do that on Wii is lifting up the Wiimote and then just putting it down, and it really never works. Also, attacking is swinging the Wiimote, and moving while attacking is preferable so that you can kill enemies, start hurting buildings, as well as it's just like slightly faster than just normal walking. And it helps keep your speed. However, you'd have to make wider turns sometimes. So Plankton, of course, sadly is a selectively law-abiding citizen. So also we have some screams where we just kind of get mad at the game and we break stuff by shaking the nunchuck. Genuinely, on the first run I did of the Wii version, I just didn't know how to use those. No, I didn't know how to use the laser, and I just couldn't figure out for a long time. And spoiler alert, it's just literally pressing the A button. There's nothing special about it.
So you're talking about this run, right?
Yeah, it's my first run.
Yeah.
So, yes, that is the motion you do to escape from the nets in this version. So Sleepy Seeds aren't really locked behind challenges. They're just in these little inlets, and you hope to get it. So now we have to hold the Wii Remote vertically and tilt it left and right. This part is not fun. Okay, that wasn't bad. But we're through, so that's good. So thankfully the sleepy seeds in this level are generally well distributed. But the second part of this area where you're plankton doesn't distribute them super well. It was like 2 in one area, which was really annoying casually.
Smash the Bikini Bottom Defense Force to smithereens. Now they will have no rallying point in their continually bothersome exploits.
appetizing sound right there. Alright, so of course, as every town does, it has a mountain with carved-in pictures of 3 of the town's random residents and 1 of their pets.
Yeah.
And we're not the biggest fan of that, so we're actually gonna take Gary and add stone to him to make him into a plankton. You know, just how it is.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, it's yeah. Believe it or not, those 4 crabs in their own town are actually on the statue, which I thought was pretty radical.
Can I just say I appreciate the line, finance, the source of the world's power.
It's pretty radical. Oh.
What?
Did I say no to saving? I think I actually did it with the analog stick. So here's a mini game. It's one we actually have to play, I think. You might be able to fail it, but it's slower to fail it by like 30 or 40 seconds, depending on how fast you do it. On GameCube and PS2, you just have to press buttons in an order, but on this, you have to do this, which would be cool, but sometimes the window in the later level actually switches randomly before you shoot it. Then you have to do an animation where you just sit there, and it's like, why? And I miss it because the cursor is really big. That was my own fault. I think it's just the center is what the actual aiming reticule is. No clue. Oh, and then also rubble from destroying this, as well as just helicopters and whatever Blitz Games decided they wanted to obstruct your view, they put randomly here. So 38's actually really good. So 1 mistake's pretty nice, especially on Wii. Generally on, oh, I guess 2 mistakes on the savior. On GameCube, usually you optimally don't want to get any mistakes, but on Wii, it's sometimes just hard to prevent. Alright, so this is just similar to the level we did earlier, just add some more concepts, such as spark towers and laser beacons.
Why don't you use it on those pylons?
First, we have a date with the Sleepy Seed. Oh, what's awesome is that I have to shake the Wii remote to punch. However, I also have to move the camera sometimes, which, as you can imagine, works wonders. So like I said, there's that 1 Sleepy Seed right in the beginning of the level, which, you know, you can't really avoid it. I mean, you can't really miss it, but then this is like hiding behind a building out of view, which really stinks. Since generally, when I was playing casually at least, if I got 1 Sleepy Seed in one of these areas, I assumed, oh, that's the one in this area. There'll be more in a different area. But it's not the case. So the laser works in weird ways. If you move while you use the laser, it'll shoot in like a cone in front of you. If you stand still, after a short animation, it'll shoot directly in front of you, like that. Oh yeah, by the way, we're chasing Krab kind of now, because Plankton likes money. So what's annoying is if you miss any of those 2 Sleepy Seeds, you get this Sleepy Seed right here. And for the whole level, you're just like, oh, okay. I'm going to look for 1 more Sleepy Seed. And it just never happens. And the best part is that there's some inlets that exist where Sleepy Seeds would have went, but they just didn't use them because they already put Sleepy Seeds everywhere.
What?
Oh, another hard lock?
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's fine. I saved.
Okay, good.
Wait. Do I have to redo the minigame, maybe?
Oh.
No, wait, no, I don't.
Didn't you save right after it?
Yeah, I saved right after it. We're good.
Chatter, I'm trying to go to bed.
I'm trying to play a game fast.
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
This is literally never happened once, and now it's happening twice. Okay.
Thank you, Chatter.
Yeah,
I was almost gonna ask.
I needed that.
How long do we have left? Good answer.
I don't know.
So this is Creature from the Krusty Krab.
I wish I knew my pace now, but I'm at 2:15 right now. That's a very good question. Let's see, we have 17 minutes from the last level. I mean, from that next level. We should be fine. I would hope. As long as I saved after that mini game, and this is just going into that next part. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
My only guess to why it could be crashing is I usually use my Wii vertically, and now it's horizontal.
So you think
But
it's
in
like
any of my practice here, that's in the like practice rooms or in my hotel room, I've been using my Wii horizontal, and it's been completely fine.
I don't even.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. This has never been a problem before. Wait, I just realized, did I get the sleepy seed right in the beginning? No, I didn't. I have to turn around for it. Ugh. Well, at least I remembered. Wait, I did? It's 5 a.m.
Actually, it's 6 a.m.
It's 6 a.m.
It is.
In your defense, you've been speedrunning a game since. When did we go into the practice room before
I don't wanna
movie?
talk
Oh my gosh.
That's a good question.
Let's say 6 hours.
That's fair. Or like 5 hours.
A little burnout is understandable.
What, for my Wii or for me?
All of the above.
Fair. Those are laser towers. I forgot to say that. You hit them with your laser, they glow. It opens doors. Jeez Louise. You know, it's funny. Movie's the one that's supposed to randomly crash on 360, but
Yeah.
here
You
we
know,
are.
we had all these worries about TSSM and Creature's the bad one.
Yeah. Creature's the one that's wetting the bed. At least I had a save.
Yeah.
And again, I thought movie was the one I was going to need an auto save for.
Another blasted commercial rival? Now let's see how they cope with a hostile takeover.
Because of course, like some random cafe is the biggest rival to the Chum Bucket ever. There's not a single rival I can think of.
Shadow, you're just missing the underlying implications about about capitalism held in this deep, complex game.
I just want to go to sleep, man.
Same.
It's awesome because all these runs are gonna be done, and I'm gonna go to my room. I'm gonna lie down and go to sleep. My mom will be like, "Alright, wake up. We gotta leave in 3 hours." Alright, cool.
I'm staying here till tomorrow.
I have school on Monday. Please give me a scream. Any of you give me a scream. Okay.
I thought you were talking to us for a minute.
No, none of
And
you scream, please.
I was very concerned why.
None of you two scream.
Please scream.
Virgo?
No.
Don't. No, I almost got the one cycle, dude. You can hit all 3 of them, but I didn't. As you might have been able to gather. I'm at 1 heart. Okay, that was a checkpoint. That door closing. Cool. Be a scream. Thank you. I didn't even. Okay, that works very well actually. Okay. Good talk. So this is a room with just 4 turrets, and you have to run in the middle to have them start shooting. Notice how, like, in the beginning of this entire section, there was just 2 sleepy seeds immediately, and then a 3rd one immediately. We're playing through this casually, and just anticipating that next sleepy seed is just... It's a feeling, man. Good stuff. So we do have to do that mini game again, but at least it's a mini game that like I actually need to interact with, so I'm completely fine with it.
Shoutouts to 222.
Shoutouts to level 5.
Just level 5.
Yes.
And
That is my answer.
I guess shoutouts to Jackalaka.
Shoutouts to Jackalaka.
Why are we shouting at Jackalaka?
Yeah, shoutouts to Jack.
Hey,
He's
Heald's record on Diesel Dreaming IL.
Does it still?
I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
a meme.
doubt it.
That level was also 2 hours ago.
Nah.
Just trying to make conversation.
This is why we needed to bring Uno, but no, I forgot it in the room.
Okay, you played it for Star Fox. That's all that mattered.
And that was a very fast game. Granted, it was only 5-card Uno, but
I mean, did you also do single draw rules or?
we did single draw, yeah.
Okay, then yeah, we'll go pretty fast.
I have to tie my shoe. Thankfully, this is the point in the run where I can tie my shoe.
You don't want to trip.
Oh, is this the really long?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes. So this is, it came from Bikini Bottom. This is the 18-minute auto-scroller.
Oh, repeat that.
18-minute auto-scroller. So, that's really not fun. But, it exists.
So Black Magic Banetta's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
Oh, he's gone, so.
So I'm gonna have to wake up and start carrying commentary.
Okay. So he's gonna go take a cat nap, I guess. Now that he knows how long to set a timer. So, how this goes is Plankton chases this Krabby Patty. This Krabby Patty catches us as we come out of the Alaskan bullworm and hops onto the bottom of the plane, as you see there. The little just brown thing is that Patty. So Plankton's chasing us because of the Patty. SpongeBob has absolutely no idea that Patty is located there.
Yeah, sorry, I just had to go scream for a minute.
That's respectable. Just scream into the Y pillow.
That's it, SpongeBob. Now I'm annoyed.
So the best part about this is it's an auto-scroller and there's sleepy seeds.
Yeah, we really should have brought Uno. Yeah.
Well, two-person Uno is a little weird, but also it works. So this first sleepy seed, when we first started doing this category, we had no clue to get. But you actually shoot down all these clotheslines. Which is, I don't know how you would not do that accidentally. But also if you're trying to figure out where the sleepy seed is coming from and you just don't even think of that, just like completely passes your mind.
So, if I recall correctly, it's this long auto-scrolling stage,
Yes.
a big boss fight, and then the final stage.
Yes.
Excellent.
However, we do the final stage 3 times in different playstyles.
Well, yeah, it's a big stage. That's how I consider it.
Oh, you know what? We're gonna stick to the right here so that we can get this scene. Alright, cool. If Rocket Rodeo was one of the scarier levels, it's definitely the scariest level to succeed in.
Bennett, do you want me to grab those energy drinks?
Could
And
you?
you're not doing
Yeah.
a run. You're fine.
Yeah, I could go grab them.
I promise to commentate all 3 runs.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
I'll speedrun it. I'll be back in like.
I just
3
realized, are we gonna be
minutes.
awake when breakfast comes out?
Oh, wait, what time? Hold on, I actually need to pay attention.
Quick, shoot it.
Run up, grab some Red Bull and a bagel.
Ugh.
You know, the worst part is, in comparison to Atlantis, this is a good game.
In comparison to Atlantis.
Yeah.
This is probably really cool casually.
Oh yeah, casually this game's fine. As a speedrun, it's like, why? I, mean, I don't mean to talk crud, but like.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. We actually have a category called any percent no scrolling sections. Oh no, it's just no scrolling sections where we go into free play and we do every level besides this, Supersized Patty, and Rocket Rodeo.
See, that sounds like a fun run.
It is, and it shaves an hour off.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the Red Bull. Pass me that key, homie.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Or an hour off, more like 40 minutes.
Really? Wow.
Well, actually, let me think.
All right, speedrun.
It'd be like 20. Jesus.
Careful.
21 plus 17 plus 4. 42.
That's good.
It's like 42 seconds off.
Okay.
Wait, I remember there's sleepy seeds in this level.
Me and the Y button.
It's not there. Okay. Me and the Y button. Let's go.
Great, the sewers. It just gets.
It's Barbie X Edge here, and I just wanted to remind you guys that with a minimum $5 donation, you'll be automatically entered into drawings for prizes. Yeah.
This is true.
There are some pretty neat prizes.
Do donate if you are enjoying the stream and you want to see this happen again. And I don't know where I was going with the and. Also, if you're enjoying the tournaments, if I recall correctly, the donations go toward the prize pool for the next tournaments that happen, so that's pretty dope.
Yep.
Don't you worry, old man Jenkins. I'll avoid these enormous forearms.
No.
Hang on. How many arms has he got now?
Oh, I forgot to mention, we're still in the plane with Old Man Jenkins.
Look at us go.
Yeah.
We were in there in the first place?
Yeah, don't you remember in the beginning, we were the one who met, he was building the plane and the worm, and we helped him finish it?
This entire run's been a blur to me, man.
Yeah, me too. This is my first round.
Oh yeah, your first run. Yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, that is Old Man Jenkins.
Correct.
Me
Huh.
too. Me too.
Yeah, me neither. So what's better than an auto-scroller where you can see where you're going?
A fun stage.
I said better, not preferable to play. How about an auto-scroller where you can't really see where you're going?
Are there any sleepy seats on this
Nope.
stage? Okay, good.
They don't put any sleepy seeds in the auto-scrollers that you are going toward the camera.
Okay, so at least they had the
Yeah, at least they're smart.
the kindness to do that.
Because how would you even telegraph a sleepy seed like that?
You wouldn't. That's kind of the issue.
Also, that sleepy seed indicator I just have in the top right, that's just a thing that happens. There's no sleepy seed in this level.
That's good.
So we're gonna put the controller down here. Just kind of go, you know? Like, you ever just feel like a sponge?
Yeah.
What we're doing right now.
There's no stopping me. I'm sorry, did I crush your little car?
So these are actually the only levels where we want to pick up a bunch of Z's and fuel and everything, because it curves around and shows earlier parts of the level you were in, and those snoozies and fuel canisters can actually generate lag. So we want to try to get as much as we can to reduce on lag.
Yeah, it feels like an N64 game trying to do lag reduction strats.
Alright, so now that we're past that bar, I can actually just, believe it or not, just put the controller down. Dude, I'm the master of lazy strats.
Creature from the Krusty Krab, except every time Shadow puts down the controller, it gets faster.
Yeah, that's fair. Or every time I just mess with the controller in general. Oh no, Annette, I'm gonna run out of fuel. What am I gonna do?
I don't know, man. It'd be amazing if a checkpoint just came up. Oh, hey!
Crazy. Yeah.
So this is 18 minutes.
There's a car coming.
Yes.
Wow.
Do I need fuel balloons? I don't really remember, actually. I should probably pick up like one, right? Alright, there we go.
Okay, yeah, Chatter, if you mess this up, make this take longer.
Never.
Okay.
Well, you know, that was something. But I don't know what it was. Please don't crash.
The plankton situation is escalating enormously, and our heroes are forced to.
Oh, do we actually get to do Rooftop Rumble now?
No. This is actually the 4th part of the 7-part classic. That's called Revenge of the Giant Plankton Monster. That's wrong. It's called It Came from Bikini Bottom. I'm stupid. This is, however, the second one cycle in the game that we get to do. And so, hopefully I can get that. Which, yeah, self-explanatory. It's just that these two life preservers that are holding up these buildings. We can shoot down these life preservers, hopefully in one try for each, and the building will conveniently fall on Plankton. This one.
Give me back my patty, you irksome sponge! You're not gonna stand in my way!
Yeah, that mashing was really slow, which is a shame. So what stinks about that, missing that one in particular, is you have to go all the way around. So this is where we would have hit the first one, but that's already down. So what we can try to do is actually hit this over here. Ah, no. Ah, it's a shame. So let's see how many hits down are we? Ah, cool. Like 2.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Is he trying to figure out how to use headphones?
Yeah.
I
got it. We good.
Birdo, go to sleep, man.
But no, I'm feeling fine now. All I need to do is walk around.
Yeah, not gonna lie, when I stood up, it actually did feel pretty good.
The blood is flowing now.
Alrighty. So these fish, I don't know if they're supposed to look this weird, but they do, and I like it. So this is another level where we have to pay attention and get sleepy seeds. I hate those levels. So there's nothing much I can expand on in terms of the story or anything. He's still just chasing us. And we're still just going forward. I don't have a lot to say, pardon me.
You've been at this for 2.5 hours. I don't expect you to have much to say.
Oh, I could say something about Rooftop Rumble. This part, huh?
Well, because Rooftop Rumble is actually kind of a cool stage.
Yes.
This is
not a cool stage.
Yeah.
It's a super cool stage.
It's pretty radical.
It's pretty cute.
Pretty tubular.
What hit me? Okay.
You always be buzzing around.
I shouldn't read Twitter while I'm commentating.
I refuse to lose.
Berto, quick, say something funny.
SpongeBob.
Okay. Good job.
No problem, bro.
Something's different about Plankton. I can't put my finger on it.
So, ready for this lag?
Oh, wow.
Did you say oh whoa?
I said uh-oh.
Dang. Almost got him.
Almost
Yeah.
got it.
Okay, buddy.
Alright, we're good. This is lonely fuel balloon over here. Sure. Oh, never mind. We won't add my fuel. Oh, I never knew there were actually toilet sounds there. Dang. This game has a lot of sounds.
That was a good save.
Oh, yeah. Were you here when it crashed again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he was here. He was just asleep.
I wasn't asleep. I was thinking about it.
Well, it crashed again. And I genuinely don't know why, because I've never had crashing problems in this game.
So, who's hyped for Crash number 3?
Yo, warped? Let's go. So, this is level 6.
What are you laughing at? I'm sorry. TDS posted something. A very good screenshot on Twitter that I'm going to show you when this run is over.
Just show me right now. Genuinely, I'm not doing anything right now.
Good speed run.
Alright, fair enough.
Just go over there?
Here, yeah.
Just you come over here. I'm too lazy.
I don't want to accidentally mess with it.
Just there.
That. See?
Wait, he spelled couples wrong?
Did he? No, he did it right.
Oh, I saw an L in the middle. I'm so tired.
I mean, you know me. I would be able to tell the difference if it's spelled wrong or not.
Yes, we
I
know.
saw calooples.
I have issues spelling.
I genuinely forgot my lazy strats for this level, so it's a shame.
The lazy strats.
Yeah, Y button really is the star of the show tonight.
It really is.
You know, we're probably good after that bridge, you think, right?
Are we?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I do appreciate that everyone in the stream or in the community right now is just DMing me things that they want me to say. I haven't said any of them.
Aww.
Because most of them are inside jokes that only us three would maybe get.
I see.
Maybe.
Alright, so let's do another one cycle.
So
Wait.
it's really a community effort tonight.
Was that the last one? Yes. Okay, so this is the last one. It's another one cycle, and it's a harder one. So considering I missed the easier one, let's hope for the best.
Every time you've said something's hard tonight, you've gotten it pretty well.
Floating block skip.
Well, that's the actually hard one.
Nitro puzzle skip.
Okay, fair. You bring up a compelling argument.
Yeah. Alright, so
SpongeBob, we have to get him off there before my favorite show starts.
Think your puny plane can dislodge me?
oh no! Oh my gosh, huh?
Did that work?
Yeah, it did. Barely did.
I love the button clicking.
Alright, so I have like the the Wiimote in my stomach, so I know the angle I need. I don't want to lose it, so I'm like moving around my body now. Like
Be the
fit.
plane.
No, dude.
Dang.
No. You know what? That's missing that second one doesn't mean much, considering I missed the first one. So
You were mashing pretty hard there, though.
yeah, but I messed up my positioning. Why is there still a laser sound going on? Where's Plankton's pupil?
What? You know what? It's par for the course so far.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't crash the game.
Oh, God.
Does someone want to tell me what the timer is at, one of you two?
242. It just turned to that.
This level has taken a lot longer than I would want it to. Okay.
Whoa.
Alright, so this is
Here we
Rooftop
go.
Rumble.
Back to stages that are actually mildly entertaining.
Yeah, that was like 20 minutes because of the crash and everything.
Super fun.
So that really was not cool. But this is Rooftop Rumble, and if you see Patrick, you know it's at least mediocre.
Yeah. Heck yeah. I don't know why I'm excited by that.
Mediocrity, hog.
Woo!
So this first part is just fighting some enemies, dodging some cars and smoke. Nothing too major, it's more of just a level to remind us how Patrick controls, considering we haven't controlled him for, you know, majority of the game. Yeah. What did that sound? Oh, that was him just dying over and over.
Oh.
Nice.
Well timed.
Correct. So.
Poweredness.
We're fighting enemies. That's all. Frodo, you're gonna have to commentate your own run. I'm trying out.
I'll try.
But
no, we can just make stupid inside jokes all throughout Atlantis. We'll be good.
It's got to be a group effort, man.
I think Plankton is fighting us because we don't like that he's fighting SpongeBob or chasing SpongeBob.
Is that what's going on?
Yes, we're basically fighting Plankton right now. And these are all like his baby Planktons.
Huh. Interesting. Oh, nice dodge, nice dodge.
Of course.
Beautiful dodge. Exquisite dodge.
I can genuinely fall asleep in this chair right now.
Probably.
Alright, cool. So that's the first part. He kind of like somehow ricocheted a car at himself from a car.
I like that animation.
So now we're on to the second part of Rooftop Rumble. Oh, I remember this part. So there's some spotlights that we're trying to shine to get some helicopters to help us annoy Plankton. They don't really like try to attack him, they kind of just annoy him. So there's... I was talking about the wrong level. So here's some satellites. How we did that laser attack there, we want him to do that again, but instead we want to do it when there's a satellite up, because then the satellite will actually reflect it at him. He won't be the biggest fan of that. So we kill all the enemies, and that button is actually what spawns the satellite. I guess SpongeBob's patrolling the area as well as these helicopters. So the main reason I want to use the Buster Puff attack here is because a lot of the enemies, pardon me, there's a lot of enemies, and so by using the Buster Puff attack, I'm able to outdo that like 3 enemy limit I talked about earlier, where like they only go toward you if there's 3 enemies that are aggroing. No, they only go toward you if it's like in a queue of enemies that are supposed to aggro to you.
Yeah.
And so the Buster Puff just makes it so we can attack enemies behind the other enemies. Okay, that was really good because that usually lags a bunch, and it decided not to.
Hog.
Cool. So the next level is actually the one I was talking about. So the next level, there's some spotlights. We're supposed to turn them by spinning windmills with our Buster Puff attack. And by doing that, we will get helicopters to either attack or annoy Giant Plankton, but I genuinely don't know which one they do. Because I just don't pay attention to the dialogue, I guess. Or at least I don't in this part of the run where it's like usually intense up here and focusing on getting tricks and stuff. So there's usually 2 skips we can do here, but we can only do one of them because the other skip actually skips something that spawns a sleepy seed. So we do still need to blow this windmill, sadly. Or I guess wind turbine.
I like if you just started adding sadly after you do it, like explain what you have to do.
Yeah, because it'd be cool if we could skip it. Well, we can skip it, but we can't skip it and get the sleepy seed.
Sadly.
Sadly.
Correct. You guys are right. I can't deny that it's sad.
I'm sorry. We've been up too long.
All right, so here's some enemies.
638.
Please give me the sleepy seed.
Just turning into bad people.
Here's more enemies. Alright, so I guess we are attacking. But he's not there yet because we skipped some of the things. Whatever. So this is what the 4th one. So the 4th one, we have 4 different buttons, and they have like little covers on them. And we need Plankton to laser beam these covers off so that we can drop this metal girder onto his hands that are holding him up on the mountain. So I don't think he's actually standing up. I think he's just like holding himself onto the building.
But are you still there?
Oh, one of them just said all hail Plankton. Never knew that happened.
Movie reference.
Movie.
There's SpongeBob with the plane and the Krabby Patty still. So I'm assuming that's why we're fighting him, yeah, because we want to protect Spung.
This is an unfortunate predicament. Luckily, my grip is firm and true. Maybe I should give you a helping
I'm pretty sure he says my grip is firm and true and then just like goes down. Okay, goodbye.
Hey there. What's up, buddy? You know there's no enemies there, right?
I do now. Alright. Thankfully in Rooftop Rumble, the Sleepy Seeds just kind of decide to spawn in the levels. Like, each segment is so short that they don't have a definite, like, extra challenge. Alright. Now into the final phase, which is pretty simple. This last phase there's 4 different sentries on the top of a building, and they're like shrink sentries. And so we need to hit 4 buttons. No, we need to hit 3 buttons, and every time we hit those 3 buttons, it activates a sentry for us to use. We have to use all 4 of the sentries to spawn this. No, we have to use 3 of the sentries to make sure the Sleepy Speed actually spawns. Then we have to use the 4th sentry. There is a trick here where we can use the 1st sentry and like die immediately after using it by voiding out. And then we can use the 1st sentry again and it just shoots him. So how the game sees it is that the game assigns a sentry to a building, and if a sentry doesn't have a building to shrink, it just shrinks plankton. So if you shrink your building but then like void out, the game's kind of weird and doesn't put the building back. But sadly, you can make fun of me for saying sadly.
Now I feel bad.
Oh. There we go.
You can do it, Starfish Man! Did you see? I think it was protected.
Yeah, so he dodges it and hides behind buildings because he does not like us too much.
Well, he sucks.
Yeah, he's kind of lame, I'll admit.
You can do it, Starfish Man! Okay, now I'm worried.
Barely missing the buttons, not part of the strategy. Hard to believe. You know what? That's absolutely fine that we missed that button. Guys, let me hit this button.
Come on now.
Mosh pit. Is it Hypnotic Highway time?
Finally, let's
Let's
see.
go,
Did we
baby.
miss a Sleepy Seed? Oh, we got every good stuff.
Okay.
Actually, all Sleepy Seeds.
Wowzers.
So 3 more races.
3
and it's
more
good?
races. Yep.
Thank you.
Good.
You're not off the hook yet, buddy.
Oh, I know. I still got Atlantis to sit through.
Join us at the mind-bending
I don't know why you submitted it.
It's a killer run.
I don't know why it got in.
It's a killer run.
Oh,
So, Hypnotic Highway is the last level of the game, and this is a very unique level. Instead of being, well, a chapter, because it's just one singular racing level. In this level, as you saw, we had 24 out of 27 for 2 of the characters. We're going to be getting 3 Patrick Sleepy Seeds as SpongeBob and 3 Plankton Sleepy Seeds as Patrick, so that we can unlock all the characters and race in all the endings.
Nice ship, Senor Octopus.
So, as the announcers will soon say, which thankfully it's the announcers from Diesel Dreaming, which gotta love those guys. Rick and I think Dale it was.
Watch out, worm dudes.
Let me go this way. So, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Plankton are all racing. And although it just seems like, you know, like a little race, why not? It's a race, actually. And the winner gets a Krabby Patty trophy, as well as, like, the Krabby Patty they were fighting over. As well as they get to wake up from the dream. So those that don't actually win the race, which in every case is the characters that you're not playing as when you win the race. are just basically stuck in what seems like purgatory, which is really cool for a game oriented to kids.
It's basically you choose which character you don't want stuck in a coma for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, basically you have to make sure the heroes don't get stuck in a coma before you can make the seemingly villain get stuck in a coma. I mean, not get stuck in a coma. It's like trying to convince you to not get the plankton sleepy seeds. Like, look, the good guys are happy, please. No, but all I'm gonna say, speaking of Plankton, this is definitely my favorite version of racing that he has. He's actually in a hoverboat, which has slightly different mechanics on the car. And it feels really good.
He asked, "What's the strangest race you ever watched?" I'd say without a shadow of a doubt, it might be this one. Well, I can't disagree with you there.
So the clams in this level are just dropped from the sky, as clams are, and they like definitely lose you speed. There's no way to just not lose speed from them. So it's better to just let go of the acceleration and take your turns precisely, rather than lose all your speed to a clam. That's what I'll be doing here.
It's my dream. That means I get to beat you.
Sorry, Plankton, no offended. This dream is all mine.
E2, that's kind of good actually.
I think that Sponge can do anything, Rick. He's a modern-day superstar.
He certainly is.
Sadly, not a lot of one-liners in this one.
Yeah.
So that's the only clam that's really worth it to get hit by, just because of that sharp turn. What's also a very disappointing thing about this race is Plankton and SpongeBob both just don't have the turbos that SpongeBob got at the end of Diesel Dreaming. So those turbos are used a solid once ever in the game.
That's lame.
Yeah. Very lame.
Nice to see you, big guy.
Boop. So with that, we have all the Patrick Sleepy Seeds.
Means you can get the Patrick ending.
Yep.
I have another letter from a Mr. E. Krabs, and he asked, "Where's me fry cook?" Ha ha ha, that's a very good question.
A very good question indeed.
Yeah.
Stupid.
It's awesome. I'm gonna need to put in. Let me just put this in right now.
Reset.
Yeah, so what that did is basically I just skipped cutscenes at the end and saved my file so that I have all the Patrick Sleepy Seeds. And so there's actually still a cutscene that we can't skip. So resetting is just the best option.
The reason he's doing all three of the endings is because it sort of unlocks the true ending that you get from doing all Sleepy Seeds.
Well, no, it's an ending, like that ending that we'll see at the end of the Plankton one is still an ending that you get no matter the character, sadly. I think it would be cool if it was like a true ending thing, but it's not the case.
Wait, really?
Yeah. It happens at the end of any percent as well.
And you say that you have...
But,
Krabby Patty, by the way.
Yeah, it's Krabby Patty in a doctor's coat, some glasses, you know.
To be an unusual race.
Perfectly normal to me, Rick.
But yeah.
3, 2, 1.
We do all the endings just because that's although it's the category, it's just shortened all Sleepy Seeds. It's just the parameters of the category.
You can do it.
It's also unlock all the endings.
Eat my sand. Do you know the way to the finish
So this is an
line?
auto-scroller, but thankfully this really is not long.
See you at the finish line, SpongeBob.
This is about as long as like SpongeBob's or
Hey, watch out
Plankton's.
with that ballot. Hello, worm guys.
So although it's an auto-scroller, it's the shortest in the game,
Good.
I don't like it.
and it's the shortest with 3 Sleepy Seeds in it. So it's really not agonizing to have to be on your
Hello,
heels.
Mr. Plankton.
It's without a shadow of a doubt, the best auto-scroller level. As well as because of just look at how this game looks right now. Other than very saturated.
I mean, outside the saturation, it does look pretty, pretty neat.
But you don't.
Go, rocket ship. You can do it.
Yeah, there's no like real lap counter, just because there was never any kind of racing thing designed for this. It's more of just where the rings are placed. So that's the general path that it forces you to go through.
What's it like being in my dream, Patrick? I bet it's pretty cool.
Oh, don't be silly, Dream SpongeBob. It's my dream, not yours. Hello! Hello, Dream Plankton!
Stop trespassing in my dream, you. I don't even know your name and you still curse my dreams.
That's funny. I thought I was cursing my own dream. So...
Patrick, for all that SpongeBob doesn't talk in
Boy, oh boy.
not Kaiway, Patrick sure does deliver some funnies.
There's some big ha-has.
Of course.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I'm the fastest starfish in Dreamland.
Canonically the same place as Kirby.
This is simply the most
I mean, yeah.
extraordinary race I have ever watched.
Art, can you think of any starfish from the Kirby universe?
You think he knows what's at stake, Dale?
You know what? Fair enough.
One thing I know, it's that I
He's
know
the one.
that he knows what's at stake.
And what is it?
The crossover we never knew we wanted.
Well, let me tell you. The patty's open.
We still don't know that we won it.
The real prize is escaping from this mad dream, and that's a prize that money can't buy. My rocket's faster than yours.
Thanks for sharing.
Everybody else's rocket right now is very
Lovely
sad.
worm you have, Mr. Monster. Hello, worm guys. Who threw that?
This is Barbie X Edge here, just reminding you that your donations can go towards prizes and some of our awesome incentives. Check out speedgaming.org/incentives to see what is up for the rest of the marathon.
This place is strange. It reminds me of home.
So, how many auto-scrollers have we gone through so far?
Define. Look, what do you define as an auto-scroller that you've gone through?
That's already a bad sign.
Like, do you like each chapter, or each level?
Like, each level. How about that? Just give me a total. I'm curious.
Let me think. Do you count Super Size Patty as an auto-scroller?
Yes, absolutely.
Even though we have to hold right?
Absolutely.
That's 5. Do you count like the boss quick kills as an auto-scroller?
No, I'll say those are their own thing.
Okay, so 5 plus 2 plus 5 plus 1, so 11.
What? 5 plus 2 plus 5 plus 1? That's 13.
Ooh. I have to load out a diesel now. I missed hitting right on left on the D-pad. It's fine. It's not too long of a load.
Peace.
You did this right before the very last segment of this 3.5, or not 3.5.
It's fine. I can just load out.
It's not fine. You don't get it.
Let's try that again.
This is the run that ended our friendship.
We had a friendship?
I think.
Whoa.
That hurts.
That was a long
Little
time
far?
ago.
Alright, so this is, in my opinion, the best driving stage in the game, and of course it's locked behind literally getting every random collectible that's scattered throughout the levels, or, you know, just cheating. Which in its speedrun is no good.
For what promises to be an unusual race.
It all looks perfectly normal
So,
to me, Rick.
we're slightly different. We got hoverboats. Oh, I just realized, I started holding 2 instead of A, so I was like charging up my deceleration. I was like, why isn't it going past? But yeah, Plankton's in a hoverboat. It's slightly more slippery everywhere. and you lose a lot less speed on turns compared to the car. The car uses a lot of speed on turns. And this gives you a combination of SpongeBob and Plankton's own course, making it more of like 33% of Plankton and SpongeBob's courses like overlap, which is a really cool idea. I mean, of course, Patrick can't join in on that, other than the fact that he's flying over their courses. But the fact that the two racers have... Well, I mean, the fact that they're racing and they're not on the same course is weird. But the fact that the two racers have parts that overlap is a really cool way to do a level. And so for this level, there's no sleepy seeds that we do have to collect. However, we do have to race good, or well, pardon me. So that ball is a very interesting thing. It rarely hits you when you race. However, one of the runners in our community, Speed and Sam, was once on like an easy world record pace, which at the time he was on like a pace to get 3:08, and on the third lap, no, that's like right before the finish line. On the third lap, he got hit by a ball, which actually knocked him up so much to the point where he was on an invisible wall, and he accidentally drove off to the right because he was confused and had to redo the entire race because he voided out, which lost like 4 minutes or 3 minutes.
At the end of a 3-hour run?
Yes.
To have size and stature.
Note that this was like at the end of a 3-hour run where he had to be on his toes and make sure to collect every collectible that he's not used to collecting. That's kind of just a mean pat on the back, I guess. Like slap on the back. Was that 5-star? There you go.
Stab to the back.
There you go. So yeah, now he memes that like this is the worst level in the game. But I mean, we know it came from Bikini Bottom exists, so.
Yeah, I'll take this over that auto scroller 18-minute wonder fest.
Have you seen the length he'll go to get his hands on a Krabby Patty?
Good point, Dale.
Why did
This Patty trophy
I'm scared.
is even more valuable than that, because winning it is the only way he'll wake up.
No way!
Why is the music
I
so...
don't know. I don't know.
Oh, it's back. Okay.
That voice line was just that important.
This is simply the most
They just cut each other out.
extraordinary race I have ever watched.
What's happening?
I'm very concerned.
Me too. Let's just finish this run before it crashes
Yeah,
again.
before crash number 3.
Yes. This is the goal here.
How exhilarating!
Also, Proto, are you still awake?
Yeah.
Quick heads up. You know how we were just gonna do? That was so bad. Please don't. Okay. Oh, time is gonna end right when we pass this finish line, which is going to be in a couple of seconds. Pardon me for not saying that earlier. So it's right here and time.
Woo!
All right.
Finally.
Nice.
A 3:09. Oh, so ridiculous.
That was an Olympian effort.
2 crashes, some soft locks.
Watching this really makes me appreciate TSSM more.
Watching this really changes you
A little bit.
as a person.
Yeah, well, this is my first run, so I think it's not.
It was pretty good for first run.
So I guess just a couple shout-outs before we go. Of course, shout-out to the Creature from the Krusty Krab community as a whole. Okay, cool.
Just skip the last cutscene. All right. Fair enough.
Well, there's a cutscene
done
after
here.
it. But there's credits here.
Whatever. It doesn't
So
matter.
yeah, as well, just like the movie community, the Creature community has a Discord. So this is that cutscene we can't skip. But I really don't want to. You know, shout out to that community. Everyone in the Discord's really cool, and everyone that wants to watch it and has any interest in it. So you guys are cool. Shout outs to Ninja Cop specifically. He's like the only reason I knew that people actually ran this, and to Speed and Sam for being the one who really like came in and optimized it after a lot of inactivity. You guys got anything to say?
Shoutouts to Tedious Throne. You're lucky you don't have to be here with us. No, I'm kidding. I really wish you could have made
You're
it.
lucky you don't have to be here.
Shoutouts to Jack Lacka for having world record in Diesel Dreaming at one point. Shoutouts to username deauthorized for having world record at one point.
Or shouts to UDA.
Are we done with Creature?
Yeah. Last thing, cornbread muffins. You're cool. That's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah. That was Creature from the Krusty Krab. I'm Actual Chatterteeth.
I'm Bennett.
I'm Protokid.
Have a nice morning.
That's right. Oh my god.